said, I just never thought that as we approached Memorial Day weekend, it would be sweater and blanket baseball. I mean, the parents were covered up with layers. They all had blankets on. They still argue from the seats. I wish they would have wrapped a blanket around somebody's face, but, it's I just can't believe we're this far along. And it's not like this is a one-off. This happens sometimes. Everyone talks about the one day or the 1 year, not the 1 year. It's happened a couple times where, we got snow on Mother's Day once. And obviously it was Mother's Day, it was a week and a half ago now. Yeah. So we're a week and a half past Mother's Day. I could see a day where it's 58 and rainy. Well, it's like we're in the middle of an 8-day stretch of 50s.
It's terrible.
I brought
just terrific.
Warm weather clothing with me from Florida.
Well, you got all that chest hair.
I got my sweater built in, but still.
You're warmer than most. You're about 5 degrees warmer with all that hair.
And, then I've got my wife on the phone last night. Wow, it is 83 here at 10 o'clock at night. Wow, it's awful. I said, don't complain.
So, and it's not looking great. I mean, even it's going to warm up next week, but it's going to be rainy.
In the 60s, too. Yeah. I mean, it's going to warm up into the low 60s.
Yeah. So,
although it's better than this.
You're going to have 80-degree weather into October now. Is just how it's been. It's kind of a shift.
I hope so. I mean, really.
Staying cooler longer, warmer later.
I said to my partner was working behind the plate. My umpire partner, just to be clear. It's a different world today.
Okay.
I said to him, I go, fall came quick this year, huh? It feels like fall. It feels like October.
Ugh.
So I don't know what I got hit with, but it was back and forth that I was going to have to this weekend go out to Buffalo because of the medicine. I mean, I ran. I don't know what this was, whether it was, and I don't think it was food poisoning. I don't know what it was. But it was, so with the medicine I'm on, you have to worry about all these sorts of complications with organs. That organs, if you start having pain, if you start having this, you must call because there could be a complication with the medicine. Whatever it was a temperature of 102 with 1,000 milligrams of Tylenol and 600 milligrams of Advil at the same time.
Wow.
That's the only way we could keep the temperature down to like 102. And then by Sunday, it was at 101 with the medicine. So I have no idea what it was, but I was out.
Is this a new medicine you're on, or
is
this the
it's
same
all
one?
The same. Wow. So you can with these medicines which are miracle medicines for cancer. You can be perfectly fine for 6 years, 10 years. All of a sudden, you could have a complication. That could happen earlier too. But I'm not having that. It looks like they didn't have me come out. Started to recover on Sunday and then yesterday, and here I am. But I'm still a little off. Although the good news is, if you want a good diet, I'm down 7 pounds.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
You just need Davy's 105 temperature, and you'll start
exactly
sweating
right.
it
That's
out.
right. So, and this hit on Friday. Started to feel a little off around 7 o'clock and 8 o'clock, and then by 9 o'clock, I'm like, my God, I got to get home. I don't think, and I'm just thinking I was overtired because I barely slept the night before. And then I just hit the bed, and I did not leave that bed until, Sunday. Terrible. But you never know with you. There's a lot of weird stuff going around.
Yeah.
So who knows?
Yeah.
Who knows? Apparently, they didn't know. I was hoping they'd be like, oh, well, you have A, B, and C, but no, they could not tell me that.
It's always reassuring.
Let's see. We have a whole bunch to get to today. Ryan Schmel's coming up in a few minutes. We'll get to, let's just, before we get into any of that, let's just talk about the fact that, Manaski, I apologize for bringing in a member of the enemy into the studio. We already deal with Davey, but he's respectful.
No, Davy's respectful. So, yeah, Andrew was already, before we got on the air, laughing about my Mets hat.
No, I just say it's nice that you're wearing it.
Well, you took 2 out of 3, and by the way, in the rubber match, the final game of that series, it was 2-2 in the 8th. before Pete Alonso decided to launch a ground ball into the upper deck.
Okay, so that would have been 2 outs if he had thrown it. If he had thrown
No. Listen, we're not gonna tit for tat here. It was 2-2. It was a huge pitching duel.
Yeah.
And the Mets were on the verge of potential. I mean, they were pristine defensively until they weren't, and they collapsed. We have not seen that all season long. So,
And then he did it again last night, I think.
That's what I'm hearing, and I feel like this has gotten into somebody's head. And then you've got Soto, who's got something in his head that just can't seem to.
Yeah.
Well, and I'm telling you, this is all I'm saying.
Can I just say,
I don't want any. I'm very good with the Mets having their little faltering going on right now, because look what happened last year. Number one, number two.
Sure,
let's
year.
not forget. No, let's talk about it. Let's not forget the fact that the Mets swept the Yankees last year, 4 games. And the Yankees went on to the World Series. So I would tell you that both teams are stacked. The Yankees did look they were the team that didn't collapse.
if we can just look at it from the microcosm and the under the lens
In
of
your
this
microcosm?
series,
Okay.
in this series, that the man who wanted a private box for their family and the Yankees wouldn't give it to him went to the Mets. He's underperforming. 4 Yankees have hit more home runs than him. And in that game, the 3 players that we got because Juan Soto went to the Mets had a huge game. In Max Fried pitching a hell of a game. Not that the Mets
pitched
starting
very
pitcher
well.
didn't.
Yeah.
Paul Goldschmidt had an RBI single, and then Cody Bellinger hit a grand slam over Juan Soto's head. It was just a great vindicating moment. And whatever happens the rest of the season,
Well, first of all,
I can hang my
home-
head on that
Oh,
wonderful,
wow.
First of
wonderful
all,
moment.
The home run had nothing to do with Juan Soto.
I know. He wouldn't have been able to catch that.
You knew that home run was coming, right?
Yeah, I mean, they
you
were
just
bleeding.
knew it was coming.
They were obviously
It
bleeding.
was-
They were a wounded animal out there.
It looked terrible.
And you know me as being one of the biggest Yankee critics and being, somewhat of a pessimistic fan. I'll admit that and I'll concede that. And as somebody who has seen Anthony Volpe have way too many errors, it was nice to see Pete Alonso throw one for a second
Oh,
there, okay?
he launched that one.
I'm like,
My
what
favorite
was
part
that?
was watching Alvarez go. He just saw his head and his body immediately turned. He was trying to play the carom off the net.
Can we say the real problem? Bullpen. Got to be corrected. That is the problem in that game.
Well,
the defensive issues, that stuff, you're gonna have bad games and maybe even a bad streak. But that was.
You know what drove me nuts? You talk about the bullpen. I think the inning before, I think it was the 7th, Brazaban came in.
Who was pristine the night before.
So he comes in, and it's 3-0. He was walking guys all over the place. It was bases loaded. He gets to a 3-0 count with the bases loaded and then battles back to get the strikeout. But I think it was Volpe.
Yeah, of course it was. Yeah.
Swung at balls 4, 5,
Yes.
and 6
I
to
know,
get us out
I
of
know.
it. And then he takes his hat off and starts flexing in front of the crowd. He could have walked him 3 times if he wasn't swinging.
Yeah.
It just drives me crazy sometimes. And it also drives me crazy that I guess it means baseball's back, or the Mets Yankees rivalry is back, that you are so proud that the Yankees took 2 out of 3 from the Mets.
Yeah, I am.
You guys are the little brother now, huh?
I am.
Yeah,
And the
it
only
used to be
problem
the
is
Yankees expected a sweep.
That's
Or
right.
at least 2 out of 3. Now
When
you're
you-
taking victory laps out of won a series in mid-May?
Yes.
Boy, you sound like a Mets fan from about 7 years
I think
ago.
that's,
From last year.
I think that's a very good point.
Or from last year.
We will continue. With
Davey,
this.
you want to speak up over here?
Well, let's
It's
not.
2 against
He
1
knows
over
I'm
here.
right.
Again, let's not forget that the Yankees went on to play in the World Series last year. So and lost to
we're heading there.
National League team, of course. But what are you going to do? Now the Mets better get the cobwebs out here because they've got Boston for 2 more games, and then the wonderful L.A. Dodgers.
And we're out of first place now. We dropped a half game behind, I think it was the Phillies, I heard Megan say. Yeah, it's frustrating. And, he calls him Juan Soso. Look, if the shoe fits, I mean, I thought all the criticism in April was premature, but now we're approaching June.
Yeah,
okay, so get it together, my man.
You did not think that you were going to be saying at the end of May. I got to say, he's played pretty well defensively.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
That's not why the money was spent on Juan Soto. So, I mean, there's got to, and I feel you got to say, I would have thought that he would have used the Yankees, and some of those signs were unbelievably wonderful. I would have thought he would have used the whole Yankees thing
As motivation.
Yeah. And, he certainly was trying, but it didn't go anywhere. Davey, I'll get you afterwards.
I think there's a part of him that expected somewhat of a warmer reception, maybe. I think it caught him off guard.
I don't think so.
I think
they got into him, but he had to expect.
Because some of the New York media is like, how dare the Yankees fans boo the guy who hit the home run who took him to the World Series?
Well, keep in mind, though, you worked in the media business for a long time. It's all about...
You got to take a stance.
Yeah, you got to draw a line. You got to put a headline up there to get clicks.
Yeah, so-and-so just wrote this story. What if I write a story that's the
opposite of it?
Yeah.
Nobody else is saying this.
How about this? Top 10 reasons why Soto won't be booed at Yankee Stadium.
Put a photo next to every reason.
Oh, man.
Get more clicks for that.
Listen, it's...
You're still in first place in your division.
No, we're
Second
not.
place.
Second place now. That's what I'm saying. We fell behind the Phillies
from last
night's loss.
It's May.
Yeah, it is.
It's May. Yeah. This was me last year. Listen, it's still early. I believe this team's going to turn around. I put a $100 bet down on the Mets to win it all, and I would have paid $30,000.
Oh, man.
And they came pretty darn close. That's stupidity, probably, but that's how.
No, I think that was a good.
I just felt like they were going to turn it around, and they have the talent. Same thing right now, but Soto is just sooner or later he's got to realize you got to earn your pay here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
it's probably time, I'm afraid. Let me go to Ryan Schmelz, Fox News Radio. The House Republicans feel they may be able to get a bill passed to then move it on to the Senate, the big, beautiful bill that is so crucial to President Trump's agenda. Ryan Schmelz on the line right now. Ryan, good morning.
Hey, good morning. How are you?
Good. What do you think?
I think
this.
I think that they got a lot of work to do.
Yeah. So still, I mean, you by pushing it forward, you feel like Mike Johnson seems very confident that he's got everything in order, but you feel there's still a long way to go.
Yes, I mean, hence why you see President Trump coming to Capitol Hill today. I mean, look, he's trying to rally the troops, and he's trying to get them all to yes so that he can pass this thing before Memorial Day. And there's still some outstanding, issues they got to work out. Obviously, you look at the SALT issue, and Republicans met yesterday with the SALT caucus. They did not come to an agreement. They're still trying to work that out, and there's still a couple other things they're trying to work out when it comes to Medicaid and when the work requirements take effect. So they're just not there right now.
And Elise Stefanik and the others in New York seem like they are not budging.
They're dug in.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, this is a very different Elise Stefanik than what we're used to seeing. She's not very vocal. We don't really hear from her as much, but you see from the statements that she is dug in on this, and she's not going anywhere on it. So, this is quite fascinating to see, to say the least.
I wonder if her intention has she officially announced? Is it official she's running for governor,
no.
or maybe her intentions
you guys would know that before I did.
Yeah. Well, it may be the challenge or eventual challenge to Hochul that's leading this decision or influencing her.
I don't think so, and I think it would be I'll be shocked if she runs for governor.
I think I will be too.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, and you've already seen President Trump kind of put the pressure on Mike Lawler to stay in Congress too, because he actually endorsed him for re-election, even though Lawler hasn't made his decision on running for governor or running for re-election.
That's funny.
So it seems like maybe they're trying to push Stefanik to be the person. But yeah, I think there is the question with her that, even if Kathy Hochul's the most hated governor of all time, and I'm not saying she is or isn't, but even if she was, it's still very hard to win in New York when you're a Republican. That's how the math adds up.
Well, and I was in New York for 4 days last week, and let me just say, it's interesting when we live in a different world, a different microcosm. We're upstate, So upstate, we're like, how? And there's no way she can win re-election. It just can't happen. And then you go to New York, and people are like loving Kathy Hochul. So it is and let's not forget, Andrew Cuomo is leading the race for mayor
I was
of New
going to
York.
bring that up. I didn't want to jump topics, but it's
like-
absurd.
It's like Buddy Cianci all over again.
Don't go thinking that
It's
right that things are normal and make
What a world
sense.
we live in.
Oh my
It is
gosh.
what a world we live in. So, all right,
Yeah.
Ryan, good. So, where do we go this week? So, it's basically the president will be up on Capitol Hill today, and it's about let's get this done before what, Thursday?
Yeah, I think they want to get it done before the end of the week. I mean,
Yeah.
we're even hearing rumblings that they could have a vote on the floor as early as tomorrow afternoon. So, yeah, it's going down to the wire, to say the least. And what the president can do, I mean, we'll see. J.D. Vance was pretty effective when he came to Capitol Hill not too long ago, when he told Republicans. It was kind of when they were heading towards the government shutdown. He says, "Hey, look, we've been in office for 6 weeks. Just let us fund the government, and we can figure stuff out. We need this time." And so, are they willing to give it to President Trump? I think that's kind of what we're trying to figure out.
Yeah. All right. As always, Ryan, thank you, man. Have a great rest of the day. Thank you.
Thank you. See ya.
All right, Ryan Schmelz, Fox News Radio.
I just think we should occasionally note here as we go along this morning that this is not from like 2023, 2022, 2019. I know we're talking about current topics, but to hear all three of our voies, people are going to think
these
that
are
somebody's out
actual-
of town today.
They are, and
Things happening.
And I think Davey, I think we've got a camera. Let me just give you a little review, okay? We set up a really awesome system, and for cameras,
The best
high
ever.
definition, as Andrew says. Yes, Trump, best ever, and it all ran off my Mac, which ran flawlessly. So now we run off a PC that is locked up. I can't get into it. I can't unplug things and replug them back in. So when a camera goes down, we're screwed. And then people yell like, "How come you don't have a camera up?" Well, there's nothing I can do.
Oh, we don't have a camera today?
I hooked it up on my Mac last night, and within 2 seconds connected everything to my iPhone.
Oh,
okay,
man.
just sitting on the couch here. I could work all day long, and unless I can break into that door down there, there's nothing I can do.
I mean,
this
really,
is
sure.
ridiculous. And they don't want me using my computer in here, so okay, but this is what we get. But we do have one camera working, so I'm going to try to adjust that to make it. There's nothing on yet.
Oh.
I'm going to adjust it on YouTube to make it kind of work. So
Can I just say that you have a little bit of Don Trump in you? You do. It was the biggest,
It was
beautiful
perfect.
MacBook.
It was perfect.
The MacBook, it worked perfectly. Some say it never worked better. Then
some say it's the best ever.
Town Square's internet. I don't have the Trump impression in me. I've lost it now.
You're close. You're close.
But
Town Square
it's
Engineering,
the same
worst
thing.
ever. They won't let me. They're fake.
Mayaski
Fake IT.
and Andrew in guest hosting here this morning, and I think they just wanted to realize. I think we needed two, just because they had no idea what I was going to be like here this morning. Although I got to tell you something, I am
You're fired up.
feeling like crap right
Oh.
now. So we'll be
You wouldn't
okay.
be able to notice it.
We'll be okay. We're going to be A-okay. News coming up right now at WIBX.
Good morning, WIBX 950 AM 92.3 FM. I'm Megan Stone with your news update brought to you by the new destination Kia of Utica, Commercial Drive, Yorkville. Utica police are investigating a large fight that broke out on Sunday afternoon. According to authorities, officers were called to the 1500 block of Howard Avenue for a shots fired investigation. Authorities learned at the scene that a large fight had taken place and multiple individuals were said to be in possession of firearms. Authorities say at least one gunshot was fired, but say no one was struck. The GIV unit is investigating. Utica police are investigating a stabbing that took place Saturday morning in the city. Authorities say officers were called to Wynn Hospital around 6 a.m. Saturday after staff reported two individuals suffering from non-life-threatening stab wounds. Police interviewed the individuals but said they were uncooperative with their investigation. Details about what led to the stabbing remain unclear. The Criminal Investigation Unit is handling the case. Bystanders are being credited with helping to stop a purse snatching at Guilderland Stuyvesant Plaza. On Sunday, 32-year-old Matthew Cattle grabbed a woman's purse and tried to run away, but ended up being detained by people who saw what happened. Officers took Cattle into custody, and he was arraigned on several charges before being released. Police say quick action by those bystanders made sure Cattle was captured and the victim was protected. Dilbert comic strip creator Scott Adams says he has prostate cancer and expects to die this summer. Adams made the announcement on a live stream yesterday, saying he has the same kind of cancer former President Biden has been diagnosed with. He said every day is a nightmare and evenings are even worse. The winner of the Preakness Stakes will be heading to Saratoga Racecourse soon. Journalism crossed the finish line first on Saturday at Pimlico Racecourse, just ahead of Goscar. Journalism is now prepping for the Belmont Stakes at the Spa, which would set up another showdown with Sovereignty, who beat him in the Kentucky Derby earlier this month. The Belmont Stakes is June 7th. And it's getting more expensive to buy a home in the U.S. The average interest rate for a 30-year mortgage moved about 7% on Monday before dropping back down slightly. It comes after Moody's downgraded the U.S. credit rating last week because of the government's growing debt. Mortgage rates have remained near their 25-year peak. Your Weather Center forecast is next. WIBX 950 AM 92.3 FM. I'm Megan Stone.
It will be cold enough for areas of frost early on this Tuesday, otherwise mostly cloudy, a high near 63 today, and more clouds tonight with a low in the mid-40s. Tomorrow, showers spread in during the afternoon with a high near 60, and then windy, wet, and cool for Thursday and Friday with periods of rain and highs only reaching the low to mid-50s. I'm Jeff Marr at the Weather Channel on WIBX 950 AM and 92.3 FM.
Currently, it is 41. That's 41 degrees as we head into Memorial Day weekend. WIBX News Time, 6:40, and we'll come right back.
Every once in a while, something that sounds too good to be true is actually in fact true. How would you like up to $2,000 of free windows? When I say $2,000 of free windows, I mean $2,000 of free windows. No gimmicks or games. You don't have to buy $2,000 to get $2,000 free. You just get $2,000 of free windows through Patriot Home Solutions and NYSERDA. Of course, some restrictions apply, but none of the restrictions are income-based. And you don't have to sit through a long, drawn-out sales presentation. Give Patriot a call at 315-401-0440, and they can quickly tell you over the phone if you qualify or how you can get qualified. That's 315-401-0440. These aren't any windows. They're high-quality, custom-fitted windows designed to save energy and keep the cold air out all winter. Your window solution is Patriot Home Solutions. Online at patriothomesolutions.com.
Not everyone who handles your personal information is as careful as you are, which might explain why there's a victim of identity theft every 5 seconds in the United States. Fortunately, there's LifeLock. LifeLock will monitor hundreds of millions of data points a second for threats to your identity. And if your identity's stolen, a U.S.-based restoration specialist will fix it guaranteed or your money back. Save 40% your first year with my name, Clay, as your promo code at LifeLock.com. LifeLock, for the threats you can't control, terms apply.
If you're about to replace your roof, stop. There's a solution about 80% less expensive. 9 out of 10 roofs can be saved by RoofMax. Guaranteed to extend the life of your current roof by 5 to 15 years at a fraction of the cost of a new roof. RoofMax's deep penetrating power restores flexibility and water protection. Nobody wants to replace their roof. Restore it instead with RoofMax. Call 1-855-RoofMax for a free roof inspection.
This message comes from Viking, committed to exploring the world in comfort. Journey through the heart of Europe on an elegant Viking longship with thoughtful service, destination-focused dining, and cultural enrichment on board and on shore. With small ships that bring travelers closer to the destination, there's more time to explore. And every Viking voyage is all-inclusive, with no children and no casinos. Discover more at Viking.com.
It's the Blooms of Hope Hanging Basket Flower Sale to benefit hospice and palliative care. Make someone feel special and impact the lives of others. Purchase vouchers for 10 and 12-inch hanging baskets now. Cost ranges from $23.99 to $32.99. Redeem your vouchers at River Road Greenhouses in Marcy during the month of May and choose the hanging baskets of your choice. Learn more at hospicecareinc.org or call 315-735-6484.
When you need us most. WIBX.
This is Keeler.
WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM.
Now back to the Keeler Show.
And in Rome says, I woke up this morning and I love the reunion.
Yes.
It is a reunion. Manaski in this morning and Andrew. Mike says, oh my God, now you three again. Regarding your weight loss, you may have discovered a new way without having to use those like Ozempic drugs to lose weight. Yeah, that is catch something. What do you think about having a urologist on regarding the Biden issue? Oh, I think that's a good idea.
Yeah.
Because I got to tell you something.
Well, they had one on. I think Morning Joe was talking to one saying
I've
that
seen
it was,
a few. Even on NBC News they did last night.
It was likely he probably had this cancer based on how far along.
This doesn't make any sense. Come on.
So here's what I saw yesterday.
We'll get into this in a second. Let me go to Jeff Maher.
Who
is the Weather Channel meteorologist. And we can find out what in the hell is going on. This is just terrible.
Help us, Jeff.
Oh,
This is just downright unnecessary, is it?
It is. It is. I mean, it's not as if we had this wonderful winter, right? I mean, what is going on?
Yeah, what's going on is really more like a fall weather pattern we have coming up through most of this week with low pressure in control and gusty winds and rain. And you combine all that, and our temperatures will be running way below average for this time of year. It's going to feel more like fall, as we were just saying. And we're talking about highs only in the low to mid-50s on Thursday and Friday.
I was watching.
What about Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday? I mean, yesterday was miserable. I don't think today's much better.
Well, he's looking forward. He's not dwelling in the past. That's the important thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not going to rain today. That's the good news, but you're right. We'll see a lot of cloud cover. We do have a frost advisory that's in effect until late this morning. We're in the low 40s right now, but yeah, some of the low-lying areas are in the mid to upper 30s, so a little bit of patchy frost can't be ruled out.
Last night, we got into bed. We were ready to just turn out the lights, and all of a sudden, I'm like, oh, my God, I forgot to cover that plant. It's like a 50-year-old plant that is outside, which we thought was going to be okay. So there we go. Get out and find a sheet and put a sheet over top of the thing. The middle of the night, for God's sakes. It is why they tell you don't plant your stuff
too early,
right?
Yeah, definitely. You know, average highs in the upper 60s, average lows in the upper 40s, and we're not going to see those numbers anytime soon. As we mentioned, we'll be in the low 60s today, and tomorrow we'll have rain moving in late tomorrow afternoon. It sticks around Thursday and Friday, and during the weekend we'll still be in the upper 50s Saturday, low to mid-60s Sunday. Hey, here's some good news, though, you can hold on to. For Memorial Day, just an isolated shower, otherwise sunny upper 60s, so it gets better by early
morning. Although I do want to say, you know how many people make a plan that get their campers out and all of whatever they do, their tents or whatever. And on Friday, they travel off to their favorite campsite, and it is going to be miserable.
Yeah, nothing like rain and 50s for highs, low to mid-50s. You're right. It is going to be pretty rough into the start of the weekend, but it gets better early next week.
So next week improves.
Oh, yeah,
okay.
Definitely back to closer to average temperature-wise. We dry out heading towards Memorial Day afternoon. So we have the worst of it's coming up, but then it gets better later in the weekend and early next week.
All right, sounds good. All right, Jeff, thank you so much. We appreciate it.
You got it. Have a good one.
All right.
I think hopefully maybe they'll do anything to stop the spread of the black flies. I was up in Remsen showing a property the other day, and they were still out. I mean, already.
They were.
And they're usually brutal.
Even with the cold.
They were still out. I mean, already.
Yeah. So
you know what I meant.
They're,
Usually it was a little early.
They're pretty hardy.
Yeah.
I think all the rain probably is
Making it worse.
Yeah.
Great.
So on Biden, I do want to get a urologist in to talk about this because if you're like, for instance, I have a PSA test coming up in like 2 weeks, and what does that mean? I go and give blood, and then the doctor comes in and will look at it and say, yeah, these numbers are good or these numbers are worrying me, and. Now they say that Biden has an aggressive form, but now we're finding out that this has probably been he's had this cancer for a long time.
Yeah, so a lot of the the Fox coverage I saw yesterday was questioning the timing of it, that maybe he was trying to generate some sympathy, but basically that they thought it was intentional that story dropped on Sunday, the day after. What was, I don't remember.
Well, the audio's out.
The audio file, and then the day before the Tapper book finally hit the stands. And they thought that was intentional. Can I just say one thing?
Do you think it was?
I do.
Absolutely.
Yeah. But the part that kind of drove me crazy was some of the panel members, and I've seen this on other media too, were saying, basically attributing the strategy and the seeking of sympathy from Joe Biden. And it's one or the other. He's either a doddering fool who doesn't know anybody's name at fundraisers anymore, or he's a strategist who's trying to save his image. And I don't buy the second one.
There's no strategy.
I don't buy the second one.
I had this conversation with your wife at a party at our house like 2 years ago.
Oh, yeah.
And I said, well, you can't have it both ways.
Right.
He's either a moron who can't find his way out of bed every day, or he's this genius that is doing all of these. And that's it's gotta be one way or the other.
And I feel the same way about the left and Trump. They say he's so dumb, he's so stupid, and then he's like, oh, he's scheming. This is his plan. And even AOC on Elon Musk, she said she thought he was one of the dumbest people that she had ever met, or dumbest billionaires she'd ever met. Do you realize we tapped Elon Musk to get those astronauts out of space because NASA couldn't do it?
Yeah.
And he went and he just plucked him out of the space.
Well, there's a whole privatization
space.
going on with the help of NASA. However, but they
were up there for how long though? And Musk got involved, and then they were home.
Well,
I mean, some people just
and listen.
And people have short memories all across the board.
Say he's a dummy is ridiculous.
We're talking about Musk now.
Yes. Yeah. As for Biden, I was just watching old footage during the news last night, and just watching him walk. What kind of a walk is? What is that? The Halloween type movie that was an animated and like the
Nightmare Before Christmas.
I think so. You ever see one of those skeletons walk? That's what Biden looks like when he walks.
Yeah, he looks like he's on the ice at the Adirondack Bank Center.
Yes. Oh my God.
But to your one of the things to talk about is that you would assume that if the leader of the free world is in office, he's getting pretty regular
PSA
checks or other exams.
Well, to me, this is proof that to me this is, we've always said it, and believe me, when there were people talking about Trump like he's going to ruin the world, and I'm like, listen, the president does an awful lot, but at the end of the day, there's a whole team of people that get everything done. And if that wasn't proven during Biden, I don't know if it's ever going to be proven.
Well, it's not new. I mean, they were doing it with FDR. I mean, if there was social media during FDR's time, I mean...
No, but...
Well, even Reagan. I mean, even Reagan at the end was dealing with Alzheimer's. So there's a team. However, and the other part of this is... There is the let's hide this from the public, but that's always been that way, and the other part of it is you have to try to present an image that you still have a president who can figure out what's for breakfast for the rest of the world.
Yes.
You're
correct there, but we look back at the FDR situation as the media ran propaganda because they didn't want to make a U.S. president look weak.
Correct.
I think nowadays...
You know that most people did not even know he was in a wheelchair.
Correct. They wouldn't photo him in a wheelchair.
Yeah.
I think nowadays, though, and
Well,
I'm sorry for beating that.
Yeah, you're saying that's unity of the country as opposed to protecting your guy.
Right. I feel like today what we have is the media trying to protect one side, and then they just swing an axe at the other side constantly.
Yeah.
If Trump was having cognitive issues, or there was consideration that he would be put in a wheelchair, they would. The mainstream.
Well, there are already people out there saying
legacy.
that he's having the same.
Oh,
cognitive,
Rosie O'Donnell. Well, please, she knows.
I'm not talking about Rosie O'Donnell, but apparently you watch her.
Again,
I love her take on Ireland and its landscape.
All right,
I always
enough
look
of
for
this.
parenting tips from Rosie O'Donnell.
Enough of this. She isn't even in this country anymore, is she?
No, she's in
Ireland.
Yeah,
Where I thought you put Biden before. I thought you called him Joe
Oh,
O'Biden.
Biden. I
Well,
did.
that's what a lot of people call him when he was in office, because that Obama was pulling the
Biden.
strings.
Oh, yeah. Well,
The
Obama
puppet
clearly was
master.
not pulling the strings, because if Obama was pulling the strings, Biden would have been out. There would have been a primary. So
Yes.
Obama was calling for a primary, but I love that theory. You keep running with that, because I hear it all the time. There would have been a primary because Obama knew the guy was
No,
losing
nobody
it.
knew, Bill.
No one
Nobody
knew. And even Pelosi knew. So
She's facing her own issues now.
So between
too, unfortunately.
Pelosi and Obama, they both wanted him. They wanted him out. So, but here's the thing that I don't understand. If we can just get back to the cancer, because that's what I like to talk about. How in the world the president goes through the most rigorous health exams, right?
Right.
Supposedly.
Exactly.
Yeah, there's no way.
They didn't do a PSA test on him. Are you kidding me? And now we're going to float it that it's advanced and expect everybody to believe, including physicians and scientists who are like, this doesn't make sense, that it just can't, that he just got it. So it doesn't, that doesn't add up. I'm not surprised they kept it from, especially if it's but prostate cancer you can live with.
Right.
Even today, they say, as much as this is advanced, it does seem like he didn't treat it. It does seem like it wasn't detected.
Or they knew about it. They were attempting to treat it, and maybe it was a rare case where
prostate cancer moves very slowly.
Yeah, I remember we were talking to Tim about
this.
this.
Yes, and there. This is not going back. This probably may very well go back to even before he was president.
Yes, I agree.
So
not that I'm a medical.
So he would have.
What the heck do I know?
MD over here.
And meanwhile, Dr. Manaski, he has a son who died of cancer. Yeah. So I do not understand this at all. And maybe at some point we'll figure it all out. So
before we move on, can I just say, and we heard from Ann this morning, Ann, we love you, and we hope everything is going well, and we think of you and wish you well, thoughts and prayers and all that good stuff. Also, Joe this morning, I don't want to say his last name because I don't know, but he said, welcome back, guys. It's so great to hear you. And he said, it's funny you're talking about prostate cancer. I'm on my way to Sloan in New York City for my prostate cancer.
Wow.
I'm sorry to hear that. I said, I hope all goes well. So, Joe, we are thoughts and prayers and our well wishes are with you as well.
We now know that Joe is more responsible than the president was because he got tested.
Yes. And
I mean, you got to get tested.
And one more cancer story. Megan had in the news this morning that if you live within a mile of a golf course, the odds of you getting cancer are 116% higher than if you live more than 6 miles from a golf course. And in her story, that this wasn't Megan, but in her story,
I don't know how the 6 mile and the 1 mile
right.
What's the difference?
Nonetheless, I always wondered you're not going to see a dandelion on a golf course.
Yeah.
Anywhere.
Oh, the spraying, yeah.
And there's only one way you can make that happen in upstate New York. And that's a lot of territory to
her story said experts or doctors theorized, essentially. They think it's from the pesticides.
Yeah.
And I thought it was just the golf courses that Andrew lived close by. They were getting hit with stray golf balls, and it was triggering something.
A lot of tumors.
Of course it's the pesticide.
Yeah.
Of course.
You know, my cancer is one of the leading causes of leukemia is pesticide.
We have so much garbage that we, I'm all for free market, etc. But I just feel like we regulate some industries so much, and there's other stuff that's allowed
we just turn our heads,
and we just if you want to golf, everybody can get cancer for the sake of golfing, and I love golf.
It is regulated. Now maybe it's not regulated properly, but it is regulated. In fact, because I've used like one of the services, True Green, and you have to sign paperwork. There's a whole thing from New York State that explains the risks and all of that stuff. So you have to let me break here. But nonetheless, pesticides. Of course it is, right? Got a break. We have a lot to get to, and free money question coming up as well.
Contractors and landscapers, be able to take on more jobs and get your current projects done with Warner Sales and Service. Whether it's the tough lifting and digging or the more precise work with attachments, Warner Sales and Service has the Bobcat rental to make sure your projects get done. Tough work demands tough equipment, so stop in today at Warner Sales and Service, just off Route 365 between Rome and Verona, and at WarnerSS.com.
Where quality still counts at Warner's.
This is Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell. Cordell & Cordell is the largest family law firm in the country, with over 35 years of helping clients navigate divorce. That does give us certain advantages, for example, in focus and resources. But being big doesn't mean less personal or less local. Our attorneys live and work in your community, and as neighbors, they understand the challenges your families face. If you're a guy facing divorce, remember, Cordell & Cordell, a partner you can count on.
518-554-0000, 100 Great Oaks.
From the Stanley Theater Studio, WIBX Utica, Rome.
W295EI.
WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM, a Town Square media station.
4 down, 6 to go. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. They captured another of the prisoners on the run in Louisiana.
Gary Price, he was the person who was arrested last night. He's charged with first-degree murder and was being held without bond awaiting his trial.
Fox's Nate Foy outside the Orleans Justice Center.
6 of the 10 fugitives who escaped this jail on Friday morning of last week are still out there, and these are some dangerous folks. You have 200 law enforcement officers at the local, state, and federal level all looking for these guys. And they broke out of the jail by digging a hole in the wall behind a cell toilet.
A Democrat in Congress is facing criminal charges after a clash earlier this month outside a New Jersey immigration detention facility.
Acting U.S. Attorney Alina Habba claims Congresswoman LaMonica McIver, quote, assaulted, impeded, and interfered with law enforcement when she entered an ICE detention center in New Jersey. McIver says she and 2 other members of Congress who entered the building were fulfilling our lawful oversight responsibilities. House Democratic leadership in a joint statement says there's no credible evidence for the New Jersey Democrat to face charges.
Fox's Ryan Schmelz. Now, trespassing charges that were filed against Newark Mayor Ros Baraka from that same incident have been dropped. President Trump will go to the Capitol in a few hours, trying to get House Republicans united on what he calls one big, beautiful budget bill they may vote on this week. The day after the president's phone calls with Russian leader Vladimir Putin and Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky. Fox's Jared Halpern's at the White House.
President Trump says he's hopeful a ceasefire can be reached.
Very big egos involved, I tell you. Big egos involved, but I think something's going to happen. And if it doesn't, I'd just back away and they're going to have to keep going.
Still, he believes Putin is ready for peace.
I think he's had enough. This has been a long time. This has been going on for more than 3 years.
America's listening to Fox News.
Progressive presents Employee of the Month. Small Business Edition. Today's recipient from Michaela's Mobile Spa, Michaela! Michaela got a quick business insurance quote from Progressive and chose from over 30 customizable coverages. Sure, it helps she's her only employee and does literally everything. But while others would rest on their laurels, Michaela was hard at work saving big. So take that, hypothetical other employee who doesn't exist. Be your own Michaela. See if you could save in as little as 7 minutes at ProgressiveCommercial.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Coverage is not available in all states or for all vehicles and coverage selections.
Hey, it's Mike Rowe, and if you want to do business with a company that actually stands for something, switch to Pure Talk. I did. Sure, I appreciate being on America's most dependable 5G network with unlimited talk and text for just $20 a month. But what I really appreciate is Pure Talk's commitment to our military and to our skilled workforce. That matters to me. Save 50% off your first month when you dial pound 250 and say keyword Mike Rowe. Pure Talk, a wireless company that actually stands for something.
An immigration policy win for the Trump administration at the Supreme Court, allowing temporary protected status to be taken away from 350,000 Venezuelan migrants. The justices lifted a judge's block on the order to end that TPS status, which could allow more Venezuelans to be deported. 64 immigrants are no longer in the U.S. They turned themselves in, taking up the Trump administration offer to self-deport. They were flown out of the country in Texas.
DHS paying for this self-deportation flight. We're told there were 64 migrants on it, all from Colombia and Honduras. A lot of family units, children on the flight. Nobody shackled here. Everybody leaving on their own accord voluntarily. DHS confirming that everybody on that flight, since they're leaving on their own accord, is being paid that $1,000 stipend. And because they are self-deporting, they will maintain the ability to return to the U.S. legally at some point in the future. This is what DHS has been urging illegal immigrants to do. They say, don't make us go out, find, arrest, and deport you. Leave on your own terms, do it the right way, and take a little cash on the way out.
That's Fox's Bill Malugin. The testimony will resume this morning in a federal court in New York City at Sean Diddy Combs' sex trafficking trial with his ex-girlfriend, singer Cassie Ventura, in focus.
Singer Dawn Richard testified she saw Combs' anger toward Cassie Ventura during a recording session, seeing him hit Ventura on the head. Richard said Combs was always in charge and falling out of line meant consequences. A defense attorney during cross-examination implied Richard had issues with Combs, prompting her testimony against him. When asked if she felt he twice ruined her career, Richard answered yes. A former best friend of Cassie Ventura, Carrie Morgan, also testified that Combs controlled everything and that she was a target of Combs' temper when she said he threw a wooden hanger at her. In New York City, Gernal Scott, Fox News.
On Wall Street, stock futures mixed, barely moving before today's trading. I'm Dave Anthony. This is Fox News.
Good morning. WIBX 950 AM 92.3 FM news time is 7:05. I'm Megan Stone with your news update, brought to you by Adirondack Home Furniture. 43 degrees and cloudy at right now. Your full weather forecast is coming up next. The two remaining Oneida County Corrections officers had their day in court Monday to accept or reject a plea offer regarding the beating death of inmate Robert Brooks. Both officers rejected their offers. Matthew Gallagher was offered to plead guilty to gang assault charges, which carries a sentence of 12 years behind bars, but he now faces 25 years to life if convicted. Meanwhile, Nicholas Anzalone was offered to plead guilty to murder and face 18 years to life in prison, but he now faces 25 years to life behind bars. Both are due back in court in June. A Utica man will spend 18 years to life behind bars after being found guilty of the stabbing death of 31-year-old Michael Biala Gilliam. 57-year-old Jerry Lee Lewis pleaded guilty to fatally stabbing Gilliam following an argument last September on Lansing Street in the city. Judge Robert Bauer proceeded over Lewis's sentencing and stated he should never walk among free men again. Gilliam's family was present at the court sentencing and spoke to Lewis through a series of statements. Lewis told the family he was sorry for his actions. Water shutoffs continue in the village of Ilion. The shutoffs are due to water valve replacements. Areas affected by today's shutoffs will be West Prospect Street from Behringer Road to Shull and Division Street. Surrounding areas may be affected if further valve installations are deemed necessary. Tomorrow, the area from Shull Street from West Prospect Street, West Rand Street, Harrison Avenue, Vosburg Street, Clark Place, West Montgomery Street from Division Street to Clark Place will be affected. Shutoffs will continue through the end of the month. The shutoff schedule is available online on the Village of Ilion's Facebook page. A California-based company is offering an emergency contraception pill. Cadence says its morning after pill is now available in 1,100 stores and other locations in 48 states. The emergency contraception pills cost about $25 per box for a one-time dose. Cadence officials say they hope to expand their market to college campuses and vending machines. And Border Patrol agents in San Diego have stopped 2 wildlife smugglers. Agents arrested a 51-year-old man from Mexico with 6 live parrots hidden in his boots and 6 other parrots hidden under the seat of his car, with 2 of the birds unfortunately dying due to the smuggling attempt. In a second case, a 26-year-old man from Mexico was arrested for trying to bring 16 parakeets across the border. Your WIBX news time is 7:07. Here is your full weather forecast.
It will be cold enough for areas of frost early on this Tuesday. Otherwise, mostly cloudy. A high near 63 today, and more clouds tonight with a low in the mid-40s. Tomorrow, showers spread in during the afternoon with a high near 60, and then windy, wet, and cool for Thursday and Friday with periods of rain and highs only reaching the low to mid-50s. I'm Jeff Marr at the Weather Channel on WIBX 950 AM and 92.3 FM.
Right now, 43 degrees and cloudy outside. Let's take a look at sports. Brought to you by the IBEW 43 Local Sports Desk. A former Jets general manager is heading back to the city of brotherly love. ESPN reported yesterday that Joe Douglas was hired by the Eagles in a senior scouting role. In other news, Gang Green continues OTAs today while the Giants get started next week. Elsewhere, the NFL executives are gathering in Minnesota today for the Spring League meeting. The two-day event features proposals which could affect the upcoming season if passed. Top items on the agenda include a change to playoff seeding and a ban on the tush-push play. The Mets, they dropped their series opener to the Red Sox 3-1 from Boston. Kodai Senga got the loss after giving up all 3 runs over 6 innings. Tyrone Taylor drove in the lone run for New York, which has dropped back-to-back games and it now sits second in the NL East. A half game behind the Phillies. The Mets will try to bounce back tonight. The Yankees, they are back on the big league diamond tonight. They battle the Rangers for the first of 3 games at home. Will Warren gets the start opposite of Patrick Corbin. The Yankees, they've won 5 of their last 7 and lead the AL East at 27-19. The NBA Conference Finals are set to tip off. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and the Thunder will host Anthony Edwards and the Timberwolves in Game 1 of the Western Conference Finals tonight. The Eastern Conference Finals gets underway Wednesday when Jalen Brunson and the Knicks welcome Tyrese Halliburton and the Indiana Pacers to Madison Square Garden. And a quest for a spot in the Stanley Cup Final. It starts tonight. The Hurricanes and Panthers clash in Game 1 of the Eastern Conference. Florida making its 3rd straight ECF appearance after winning the Cup last season. Meanwhile, in the Western Conference Final, it kicks into gear tomorrow when the Stars and Oilers duel in Dallas. Edmonton is trying to make it back to the Cup final after falling to Florida last year. Your WIBX news time is 7:10, 43 degrees and cloudy right now. WIBX 950 AM, 92.3 FM. I'm Megan Stone.
Celebrate AmeriQ Credit Union's 75th anniversary with an extra 0.75% off your auto and rec loans. Apply today at ameriq.org/loan sale.
Utica in the Mohawk Valley, Kevin Fear from Mattress Express. We not only have our new store in Cortland, New York open, our new store in Auburn, New York open, but our Memorial Day sales are on. Why do people come to Mattress Express? Because no one else in New York State has all the brands under one roof. And during our Memorial Day sale, save up to $1,350 on these brands: Tempur-Pedic, Stearns & Foster, Sealy, Purple, Puffy, the Smart Bed by Instant Comfort, which you should compare to Sleep Number, Posh and Lavish, Therapeutic, the largest selection of flex head beds in New York State, and we have now added Simmons, Beauty Rest Black, and Avocado, the big online brand, and Serta Eye Comfort. Nobody has all these brands under one roof. Take up to 5 years to pay with no money down for qualified buyers. We have no credit check payment plans available as well. Call 1-800-NEW-BEDS, go to mattressexpressny.com, and shop with confidence with a 30-day price guarantee.
Hi, I'm Gail, and I've been driving for Whitesboro for about 5 years now. What keeps me coming back is all the kids. I love seeing their faces and their excitement. I get to be the first person that they see at the beginning of the day. It's the best district that I've ever worked for. I wish I'd come sooner. They truly care about the students and the other drivers. If you're thinking about it, do it. Give Andy a call at 315-768-9740 or stop by the garage, 20 Wood Road, Whitesboro.
Not everyone who handles your personal information is as careful as you are, which might explain why there's a victim of identity theft every 5 seconds in the United States. Fortunately, there's LifeLock. LifeLock will monitor hundreds of millions of data points a second for threats to your identity. And if your identity's stolen, a U.S.-based restoration specialist will fix it guaranteed or your money back. Save 40% your first year with my name, Clay, as your promo code at LifeLock.com. LifeLock. For the threats you can't control, terms apply.
Hi, this is Ray Durso of the Genesis on WIBX 950 AM, 92.3 FM.
WIBX.
This is Keeler.
WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM.
Now back to the Keeler Show.
Hey, portions of the program brought to you by the Good Feet Store. People of all ages can experience any level of discomfort in the knees, hips, and back. And shockingly, maybe for you, I think it was for me, that can come from your feet. At the Good Feet Store, they know that foot pain impedes everyday life, and it's all about arch support. Their specialists you'll do a walk, and it's a test walk. They'll measure everything about your walk and show you where improvement needs to be made. It's no obligation whatsoever, but it gives you a great idea. And if you decide to go forward, like I did, it's a free fitting and test walk without an appointment or with an appointment, however you'd like to do it. But these are arches that go into your current shoes, and it's a 3-step system, including strengtheners, maintainers, and relaxers. 3 categories of arch supports with varying levels of strength and support that work together to improve and maintain proper foot alignment by exercising and strengthening muscles, tendons, and ligaments of the feet. Commercial Drive in Utica, or in New Hartford, I should say, 4630 Commercial Drive, New Hartford. It's the Good Feet Store. Call today. You can walk in without an appointment or make an appointment at 315-999-3910. Comment from Rob here this morning, who says, "Come on, Bill. Here it is. Come on, Bill. They hid this from us. He said he had cancer in 2022." I kind of remember maybe
he said that.
Maybe there was an announcement after he was elected, but good luck trying to find that because I was looking it up. Now, what do you search? I tried Biden cancer 2022, and every story is the current story.
Yeah.
So you can dig deep, but you will eventually you'll find it. I'll work on that situation coming up in a second. In studio right now is Andrea Heath. Good morning.
Good morning.
Glad to have you, and really tight on that microphone.
Perfect.
There. And let's see. So the dinosaur thing is going to be enormous. And you're ready, right?
We are ready, yes. The grand opening is tomorrow. Now, I know the weather's not supposed to be that great, but we're totally...
You don't like 50 and rain?
Well, 50 and rain is perfect if you're like in that whole Jurassic scene.
Yeah,
they're like all wet and it's foggy
It's
and it's
essential,
raining and wet.
yeah.
So maybe we asked, maybe that's part of the plan.
It's awful.
Yeah. So tomorrow's our preview party and our ribbon cutting. But everything's up and running, and we've been testing it with the animals to make sure that they're okay with it because, they're not used to the roar of a dinosaur and the thump of a big, huge, T-Rex tail. The T-Rex is 39 feet long and 5,400 pounds.
Wow.
Some of the animals were like, I thought these things were gone. What the heck?
Yeah.
Well, I was just going to kind of joke. Like, I walked in here with a little flashback because I thought you guys were gone.
We are dinosaurs.
And then I came back and you're both sitting here.
It's a revolving door.
It's just like, am I dreaming?
I thought I was.
It's a little reunion this morning.
I'm so happy to be part of it.
Yeah,
Thank you. I've been around here a long time, too.
So, this I guess I never thought about how the other animals will react to that.
Yeah, and our team is great because they do think of those things. We all do. And but we've really given so much thought to where the dinosaurs go, and they're one of the things that people have complimented us about with the Utica Zoo anyways is it's a meandering place. Like you're not just walking through and you see everything all at one time.
Right.
You go around a curve, you go up a bend, and it's the same thing with the dinosaurs. You're walking through, and then all of a sudden you're like, "Whoa, there's one right in my face," or there's one, with little dinosaurlets, like little ones, hatchlings. And so we have some of them in various stage of life. They're all animatronic. This is a national exhibit. It comes from Dallas, but it's been at every major zoo you can imagine, and to have it at the Utica Zoo is a pretty big deal.
Yeah, it's awesome.
We really have Teresa Flemma from Baird, from the Flemma Group, to thank because our board was very conservative and said, if we can't cover the cost of this up front and make sure we're good, we're not doing it. And I was all about that. And she actually gave us the initial investment and became the presenting sponsor. And then a lot of folks followed suit. So we've raised about $220,000 to bring this. Yeah. The first initial was $150,000 just to have it here, but there were a lot of things to do. We had to do all of this, compressors and all the hoses for that, and landscaping so that you couldn't see all of the behind the scenes pieces. But everything this summer is going to be dinos. It'll be at Wine in the Wilderness and Brewfest, our zoo camps, homeschool programs, field trips, birthday parties. It'll still be here for extravaganza or for Spooktacular.
Wow. I was just going to ask how long it's around.
Yeah. It ends on October 19th. So that's the weekend of Spooktacular. And Thursday nights, we were calling them Sunset Sips, but in the summer, but this time it'll be Dino Nights. We have live music every Thursday night, kids programming, whole zoo's open, alcohol beverages available at the concession stand and sit on the terrace. So that'll be cool to see the dinos at night.
You ought to bring in Jimmy J.J. Walker for one of those
Dino
Thursdays.
Night.
I know. That's what we're all thinking. We're all showing our age, but we're thinking.
Well, the problem is
he doesn't really like that anymore.
No.
He's not the funnest guy to be around.
One of the greatest things that we're really happy about is this is all part of the cost of admission too. Sometimes you go to.
I was going to say that this is you don't have to pay any extra for this.
You don't pay any extra. And we didn't raise our membership prices. We did put a little bit of a hike on our just general admission. We had to. It had been a while, and everything's going up. But it's $8 for $8 if you're 2 to 12. And $11 if you're 13 to 61 to come to the zoo. That's just our general admission price. Membership didn't go up, so it's a great year to get a membership because you can keep coming back. And we also have a few free events happening this summer, so we really wanted to make sure this wasn't something that would be held back to children and families, because of cost.
Is there another Jurassic movie coming out?
In July.
Think there is, yeah.
So we were really excited. We thought we were going to be able to rent with license. We thought we were going to be able to rent the previous Jurassic movies and kind of show them at night as a build up. But the licensing has been halted for this year. But we might still do some outdoor dinosaur type movies. And I want to say that this is really not just for kids. I can't tell you the adult reaction that we've had from this because they are so genuinely,
feels real.
They're pretty amazing.
Yeah.
And one cool thing that the company did, and we took them up on it, is we did this coloring contest with a blank dinosaur. It was available for download. We had 1,000 entries, kids age 1 to 17. We had 1,000 entries.
Wow.
The top 10 were selected by our team to be voted on Facebook. The winner was an 11-year-old young girl from Whitesboro, and the company painted the dinosaur to look like her rendition.
Wow. That's
and it was a really cool one selected up, although we had so many great entries. But that was a really great community, build for us.
I remember the last time you were on, you were talking about just download the
just print it off and color it and send it in to us, and
Very
people
cool.
did.
All right, so it's regular hours, regular admission, and it starts tomorrow.
Starts, the preview's tomorrow. The big weekend is really this weekend.
Okay.
We're doing a member morning, Saturday morning, earlier, 9 to 10, and then we open at 10. We open at 10 to 4:30 every day. Parking is not great at the zoo. So, we are asking people, pace yourself. You don't have to be there right at 10 o'clock Saturday morning because you're going to be there till October 19th.
Right.
But the cool thing is there isn't any school on Friday in many schools, no school on Tuesday, many schools. So that Memorial Day weekend's really extended.
And it looks like Sunday and Monday at least look really pretty nice.
Nicer, yeah.
Nicer.
Nicer, good point.
Yeah.
You're not going to be jumping in your pool, but it looks sunny.
But it's a great time to come to the zoo and walk around and see the dinos. And thank you for this coverage.
Can I ask you, too, about the beaver, cauliflower?
Yeah, so we did find cauliflower. Actually, a Good Samaritan found cauliflower kind of over near Home Depot, on the Archero area. There's marshy over there. And he wasn't alive. It looked like he'd been hit by a car, and we are devastated by it. Because one of the reasons, for so many reasons, but we really had hoped that there's so many waterway parks and areas surrounding the zoo.
Right, it might have,
we really hoped that he was in one of those.
So we have somebody who called in and said that he found 3 or 4 days before found the beaver on the side of the road and had been hit by a car right over in that area. And he said he called and they thought he was a prankster, I think.
We followed up. We had the tip line, and we followed up on so many calls, and many of them were groundhogs, muskrats. There was one. It was a cat.
He's a fisherman and said it was a beaver.
But so we did go over and look. I know that we did get a call about that. We did go over, look. We didn't see something, but someone did bring us that. Someone
took it.
They brought it to us, which was very kind of them. And it wasn't. It was a gentleman, and he said he wasn't the one that. He found it. He doesn't think he's the one that hit him. But we're devastated. It was all just a horrible.
Yeah. And then the only other thing that we're not grilling you by any means. But I do wonder if it had a chip. It was not a chip.
It wasn't a location chip. It was an identification chip.
Got it.
And I mean, I don't know how much time we have, so I'll just say a word.
I just think it's important to clear that up because people are all confused about that.
Yeah, it was an identification chip, so that's how we know it was cauliflower. And I'll just say, there's this word dispersing. I just learned about this, and it happens with a lot of wildlife, not just beavers. But for a male, and he was neutered, so we didn't. I guess it wasn't thought that he would do this, but there's a certain age where they know they need to fly the coop and leave the, with their relatives. And he was in with his two sisters, but we've had beavers before. We've had a beaver family that actually made it and had babies, and we didn't have dispersing happen. So he was determined to get out, and he found a really wild way to leave his habitat.
Wow.
Of course, we've reinforced it all now, but the two sisters that have remained, they don't seem like they want to go anywhere.
Yeah. Okay. Well, it's pretty wild, right? And the fact that you guys own Beaver Sprite is just blows my mind.
Isn't that great? And that's why sometimes people are like, why would you have to have beavers? Because beavers are indigenous. Well, first of all, one of the reasons we host and exhibit any animal at the zoo is to tell the story of their wild counterparts and the kinds of challenges they have, etc. But for us to have beavers, not a lot of zoos have beavers.
Yeah.
But for us to have beavers is really important because we do own Beaver Sprite, and now everyone should be watching what we're going to be doing down there because now COVID's behind us. We've got we've got some resources with a great person who's running it. So Beaver Sprite's pretty cool.
Okay, that by the way is down Dollarville in that
right
area.
outside of Dollarville, across the bridge. So it's actually in Fulton County.
Okay,
just inside.
All right, great stuff. We appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
And so, really, this weekend is when everything gets underway.
It's the launch of Dino Discovery, and it's
so cool.
Right through, and again, Thursday nights in July and August, live music, great acts. The kind that you always go out to clubs to see. They're playing on Thursday nights.
Dynamite.
Dino Nights.
Dino Nights.
Dino Nights, Bill. Dino Nights.
All right, thank you so much. 7:25. Coming up, Pobica's free money question of the day on WIBX.
Ferris commercial mowers set the bar with racing-inspired patented full suspension and integrated cutting decks so you can go faster, cut better, and not get beat up. Ferris Experience Suspension. Take advantage of the best financing and prices of the year. Visit us at whitesfarmsupply.com.
We're the power in power equipment. White's Farm Supply.
If you're experiencing discomfort in your knees, hips, or back, it may stem from foot issues. The Good Feet Store is here to help with their team of arch support specialists. Their comprehensive solution includes strengtheners, maintainers, and relaxers, a 3-step system of arch supports that work together to improve and maintain proper foot alignment by exercising and strengthening muscles, tendons, and ligaments of the feet. Get back to being pain-free with the Good Feet Store at their new Hartford location on Commercial Drive. Learn more at goodfeet.com.
Why do we say we bring the fun to your backyard? Because at Tucker Backyard Pools and Spas, that's exactly what we aim to do. And a fiberglass pool can bring years and years of backyard fun. A fiberglass pool from Tucker Backyard is more affordable now than ever. Plus, with durability, low maintenance, and of course, beauty, it's the perfect fit for your backyard. Come visit our unique indoor showroom, including 3 fully functional pools, giving you a full hands-on experience. Or try our new interactive showroom and design the pool or spa of your dreams. Interact, design, review, and save. With Tucker Backyard service and knowledge, now is the time to stop by and learn more about putting the pool of your dreams in your backyard. Tucker Backyard Pools and Spas, 8086 Seneca Turnpike, 1 mile west of Big Apple Plaza. Online at tuckerbackyard.com. Visit Tucker Backyard Pools and Spas, Seneca Turnpike. We bring the fun to your backyard.
Hello, everyone in Central New York. This is Dave Letterman, your old TV pal. Remember me? I'm supposed to say something witty and funny here about Bill Keeler, but I've got nothing. Ever see a picture of this guy? That's a joke in itself. Anyhow, here's Keeler on WIBX.
Okay. Talking about River Hills Properties, the fastest growing real estate company in Central New York. Nobody sells homes like River Hills, and now they are in sunny Florida. And here is Andrew, as a matter of fact, here in studio at the very time.
Yes.
A lot of opportunity down there, so we'll get into it. They have offices now in Barneveld, Little Falls, in Utica, now in Newport, in the North Country in Copenhagen, and the amazing Gulf Coast of Florida, Sarasota, Naples, Marco Island. It's River Hills Properties. If you're looking maybe to downsize here and maybe become one of those snowbirds, they have you covered because they know everything about down there, and of course everything about up here. Gives you a really great advantage. And do you want to add to that?
I will. It's actually the two markets. The difference in the two markets makes it perfect for that person who wants to maybe downsize or make a move, because you will get top dollar for your home here, being that it is a seller's market, and things are flying. And I'm up here this week and last week to list some properties that have already sold quickly at asking price or over at very high prices. And then you can take the money gained from that investment you made however long ago and buy something nice in Florida, because it is a competitive market and a very advantageous market for buyers in Southwest Florida. So,
and it's beautiful. What I also we haven't talked about your wedding at all.
That's right.
Is there? People have asked. Is there a video of the ceremony?
It is. That will be. We're still waiting on it. We just got the photos.
Okay. So it'll be. Will it be posted?
Yeah, we'll post.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah. Bill did a
Ann and Rome wanted to see me with the cloak.
Well, I'm sure we might have some. We'll have the photos. We will have the photos.
Okay.
So, yeah,
well,
you did a
can
wonderful
see
job.
that.
It was a great day, and weather and everything was perfect. So,
the other thing about the Gulf Coast that I did not realize is, if you go to Myrtle Beach, to Daytona Beach, Miami, anywhere along the coast, and you sit out there on the beach, you want it to be a really warm day because the wind
breeze
is, in fact, if you put one of those umbrellas in the sand, it becomes a projectile.
Yeah.
It'll kill somebody.
It will.
Yeah.
On the Gulf Coast, I swear to God, you're watching butterflies fly around. There's no wind.
Yeah,
it's so
the water's a little different.
Calm
The
and
sand's a little different. It's nice.
Yeah, it's just beautiful. Kind of reminds me of. I'm trying to think of somewhere here. Nope, I can't.
Well, you and your wife were embracing the Florida lifestyle quite well in your choice of rental car. I loved it. It was a good way to travel around.
This is what they. I found this is what they do because we had to get a car, so we just got a regular sedan. And they're like, "Oh, you're really lucky. We've got an upgrade for you."
Yes, of course.
And I said, "Well, it's free." And she said, "Yep. There'll be just a couple
menial fees,
dookie charges we're gonna put in there for you." I swear to God, by the time I was done, it was like $200 more. But
it was
a
worth
Mustang
convertible. Nice white one.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, my goodness.
It was hot. We were doing Uber rides to pay for it and stuff. It was awesome.
Bill pulled up like Michael Scott in his convertible with the sunglasses.
With the cloak on.
Yeah, cloak.
Runaway priest.
As I'm driving by, I'm giving people the sign of the cross. It was
just splashing holy water.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep. All right, we'll do news, and then we'll get into Hobike's free money question of the day. Some things I want to talk about. Number one, Gary Schultz is the person that went into is it Venice Pizza?
Yeah, I think it was.
Well, it's the bar that's adjacent.
Was he in the restaurant part, though?
I believe he was. From the video I watched, he was.
Does the same person own both?
Yes, and they're adjoined. I shouldn't say yes. My understanding is Venice put an addition on. That's the bar. I assume it's the same thing, but the buildings are adjoined, and it
shows you the power of social media, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Like, that has gotten a lot of hits. And he went in with a service dog. And I'm sure you've heard this story by now, but was asked to leave. And you can't do that. So police came and everything. It became a whole thing. We'll talk about that coming up. Also, just because I was there, I thought I'd talk about this. And that is the student at NYU. There was one at NYU and George Washington University. I'm sure there are many more around the country, but who was giving the student speech and decided to go political with the Palestinian-Gaza Israel war. And NYU, I can talk about that one. It is interesting, though. I learned some things about this. They've taken the kid's diploma away because there was a speech that he was supposed to read that he said he was going to read, and then he switched it up once he started reading it live. So I want to talk about that as well. It's kind of
I think that is so wrong.
Well, we'll talk about that.
Let's talk. We got to get into these issues here.
There are a couple of, I think,
I've got opinions on both of these stories,
issues.
and I think they're both going to be very unpopular opinions.
Well, and I'm going to tell you, at one point during the speech, he saw a $20 bill on the ground and said,
Manaski's got opinions about that, too.
Before we go to break, let me just tell you, the last time I was in, we had this conversation, and I confessed that I was in a Rome apartment complex. I was out in the parking lot, and a $20 bill came rolling by, and it went right in my pocket. I didn't even consider turning it in.
Well,
it went right in my pocket.
How would you turn it in?
Exactly.
Right.
Thank you, Bill. But I'll tell you this. We had a joke that morning about $100 bills. Someone messaged in, I can't think of his name. Keith messaged in and said, I found a $100 bill at the gas station in North Utica. And he was going to take his daughter and his son and daughter-in-law out to dinner. And they said, Dad, look at it. And it was one of those prop $100 bills. So I'm walking up to like a stop that day for FedEx at a house. And I had talked to the guy before, but he never mentioned that he knew who I was. And he goes, what are you looking for, $100 bills in my backyard?
I feel like there are listeners right now who know your situation, and they're out dropping. They know your route, and they're dropping fake $100 bills all over the place. So, all right, let me do news, and then we'll do Habakkuk's free money question and get into all of this coming up.
Good morning, WIBX 950 AM 92.3 FM. I'm Megan Stone with your news update brought to you by the new destination Kia of Utica, Commercial Drive, Yorkville. A group of Whitesboro teens are being hailed as heroes for saving a family whose home was on fire. Aiden Kane, Tyler Saja, and Donato Jelinek were heading to a friend's house in Marcy after prom late Saturday when they spotted a large garage fire at a person's home. The teens sprang into action, calling 911 and evacuating the family, a father and his two little girls that were sleeping, from the residence. Saja even checked the garage to ensure no one was trapped there. The Maynard Fire Department called the teens' actions heroic. Because of their actions, the fire was contained to the garage and did not spread to the home. The cause of the fire is under investigation. Utica police are investigating a large fight that broke out on Sunday afternoon. According to authorities, officers were called to the 1500 block of Howard Avenue for a shots fired investigation. Authorities learned at the scene that a large fight had taken place and multiple individuals were said to be in possession of firearms. Authorities say at least one gunshot was fired, but say no one was struck. The GIV unit is investigating. Utica police are investigating a stabbing that took place Saturday morning in the city. Authorities say officers were called to Wynn Hospital around 6 a.m. Saturday after staff reported two individuals suffering from non-life-threatening stab wounds. Police interviewed the individuals but said they were uncooperative with their investigation. Details about what led to the stabbing remain unclear. The Criminal Investigation Unit is handling the case. Dilbert comic strip creator Scott Adams says he has prostate cancer and expects to die this summer. Adams made the announcement on a live stream yesterday, saying he has the same kind of cancer former President Biden has been diagnosed with. He said every day is a nightmare and evenings are even worse. And it's getting more expensive to buy a home in the U.S. The average interest rate for a 30-year mortgage moved about 7% on Monday before dropping back down slightly. It comes after Moody's Moody's downgraded the U.S. credit rating last week because of the government's growing debt. Mortgage rates have remained near their 25-year peak. Your Weather Center forecast is next. WIBX 950 AM, 92.3 FM. I'm Megan Stone.
It will be cold enough for areas of frost early on this Tuesday. Otherwise, mostly cloudy, a high near 63 today, and more clouds tonight with a low in the mid-40s. Tomorrow, showers spread in during the afternoon with a high near 60, and then windy, wet, and cool for Thursday and Friday with periods of rain and highs only reaching the low to mid-50s. I'm Jeff Marr at the Weather Channel on WIBX 950 AM and 92.3 FM.
Currently, it is just gorgeous out. I don't know if you realize. Does anybody have a temperature? Because I'm having a problem with this whole
40. Oh, that's the Punta Gorda temperature.
Today,
you don't want to know that. 42.
42. It's 42 there?
No. I had that up.
Yeah.
And it's 79 at 7:38.
Yeah, and there still is this frost advisory. Apparently, the closer you are to the ground, the more apt it is to possibly frost. So if you have plants out there, make sure they're covered this morning. Although I'm hearing maybe this is the last time this year we're going to deal with that. But wouldn't that be nice?
I hope so.
For baseball, it's got to be a killer for you.
I think I have windburn on my face from the game last night.
Terrible. All right, let's do, Davey, how much are we doing today, by the way? For Hobica's free money question of the day.
$150.
$150 your liver. Caller number what?
Caller number 4.
Fourth caller right now. 315-736-0186. Call right now for your chance to win from Hobica and WIBX. In studio this morning, your eyes aren't deceiving you. In studio this morning, Manaski and Andrew as guest hosts. And we got a bunch to get into.
We're going to argue a lot after this break, I feel.
This is big. There's
a lot of arguing.
Coming up at WIBX.
Don't miss Clinton Tractor Spring Sales Event. We're giving you the best deals of the season on all of our inventory. Thousands of used and new equipment in stock, all in one location. Get 0% financing on new Ferris commercial mowers, Massey Ferguson, and New Holland equipment. And trailers and used equipment as low as 5.49%. Restrictions apply. We're giving you the best deals of the season. It's Clinton Tractor Spring Sales Event.
We are the leader in service, Clinton Tractor.
ClintonTractor.net.
Memorial Day savings are here, and that means time to upgrade for summer. Adirondack Home Furniture is overstocked in every department, so come take advantage of their amazing deals on sofas, dining sets, bedrooms, outdoor poly furniture, and more. Right now, take advantage of their lowest prices of the year on select items, or 4 years, 0% interest financing. Adirondack Home Furniture has a large line of quality USA-made furniture from top manufacturers. Something for every room, any size, inside and out. From modern to farmhouse, rustic to transitional, with free local delivery and a professional, knowledgeable staff, you'll have your dream home in no time. Plus, salespeople are non-commissioned, so you'll enjoy a relaxing, no-pressure experience. Celebrate Memorial Day and save big at Adirondack Home Furniture for living rooms, dining rooms, bedrooms, home office, and patio at their lowest prices of the year. Adirondack Home Furniture, Riverside Center in North Utica, or at AdirondackHomeFurniture.com.
BME Company Business Machines and Equipment has been delivering office solutions for businesses in upstate New York for over 30 years. Their success comes from finding the right document management strategies and software solutions for streamlining workflows. Simply put, BME provides fast, reliable service at the best value to keep your business running smoothly. Through BME's strategic partnership with Hummel's Office Plus, they distribute supplies for just about every machine in your office at a great price. BME welcomes the opportunity to serve your business, selling, leasing, and service in Canon and Kyocera devices, as well as FP mailing solutions. An important part of BME's culture is supporting the communities they're fortunate to work in, and BME recognizes that support is one reason for their success. The future of business in BME's area is encouraging, and the company is grateful to be a part of that growth. Call BME Company at 315-574-8200 or visit BMEcompany.com. BME Company Office Solutions. Made simple.
Hey, if you have ugly yellow toe fungus, you gotta hear about the secret 2-minute trick that I found for my husband. It works from both the inside and the outside. Thousands of people are using it to get rid of their toe fungus. You can check it out at crystalflush.com. Jake started off with a small spot on his big toe, and then it spread and got really bad. His toes were nasty. It was so embarrassing. He was afraid to take his socks off. He hid his yellow and crumbly toes from everyone. He tried everything to get rid of it. Nothing helped. And then we found crystalflush.com. It was the only thing that worked. In just a few weeks, his toes looked amazing. He's now walking around barefoot again. You guys need to try this. I'm telling you, this stuff is different. It's not sold in stores, but go check it out at crystalflush.com. They'll even let you try it risk-free, so you have nothing to lose. But whatever you do, don't let it get worse. You don't have to live with this anymore. Go check it out now. Just click over to crystalflush.com.
WIBX. This is Keeler. WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM.
Now back to the Keeler Show.
We have Nick, who's ready to take a shot at Hobika's free money question of the day here in May. It's heading into Memorial Day weekend, and it doesn't feel it at all. This is just awful, awful weather. What a year it's been for weather, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, boy. Let me go to Nick right now. Hello, Nick. Good morning. You're on the radio.
Morning, Bill. How are we doing?
Good. This is the free money question of the day from the Hobika Law Firm. Joseph and Andrew Hobika. For all of your legal needs, call them today at 315-736-0186. And I'm sure you're ready to go.
I think it was 724-1600.
What did I call? Did I say 736?
You had him call here.
Oh, call
we
here.
We can connect you.
We'll call Joe or Andrew Hobika.
Yeah.
And
we'll get the retainer, and then we'll take care of it.
You can tell I'm dragging a little today. 315-724-1600 is the Hobika number. All right. You ready to go, Nick?
Yeah, let's go.
All right. Here's your question. You'll have 7 seconds to answer this one. And here we go. I got it ready. Okay. 1962 hit Pretty Little Baby has gone viral on TikTok by this artist. Which artist?
Madonna.
Is it Madonna? Turns out that it's all over TikTok now, and it's gone viral. And by the way, she had she's like 87. Connie Francis. Yeah. Someday Madonna will be 87, and who knows?
She looks 87.
Yeah, she does a little bit. Yeah. It's apparently gone viral. So, all right, listen, I'm going to do a couple things for you. I have a pair of tickets. Davey, can you explain? It's Two Cousins Pinball, which is right down the street from us.
Yeah, right at the old Pelosi Mazda. It's two unlimited.
How many do you think they have in their pinball machines?
They got over 40.
Wow.
Some are brand new. Some are classic antiques. It is the coolest thing. You go in, you can have some snacks and beverages and play pinball till you're...
Unlimited play.
Yeah.
Wow, that sounds great.
We have tickets for you for that, and we'll give you the all-in-one food and fun card. It's a $25 gift card. Good at Aquavino or Babes, The Odd, Nexus, all that.
And they have an arcade.
That's outstanding. I appreciate it.
They have an arcade game with over 40 games on it. Like
classic games.
Classic games.
This is right up. This is right up Davey's alley right here. All right, stand by, Nick. Thanks, man, and Davey's going to hook you up.
And Smitty, what the play is what?
Good.
Thanks, guys. Thank you.
Unlimited.
Okay, unlimited. The way you said it there for a minute, I thought Pam Bondi was in the other room. She likes to mispronounce things. I know last time I was here, I brought issue with the fact that she kept saying naked instead of naked.
Yeah.
And the other night,
well, that's kind of a southern way of pronouncing it.
So at FedEx, we have something like, for instance, if you need to get a signature and nobody's there to give you a signature, you 07 it. Okay, and for instance, if the address is incorrect on the package, you 02 it. When you're the AG of the United States and you're saying the United States, you 9 it is what you do.
United States.
9 it. She says it all the time. I almost drove off the road. I was watching one of the press conferences about the illegals, and she kept saying, you 9 it, you 9 it. And it's like, can somebody tell her it's United?
You can't change that.
You 9 it.
I think once once they have, gotten their hair bleached and stuff. I mean, I don't think there's a way to reverse that.
Do you put? I mean, because there's another delivery service. They'll put like a "sorry, we missed you" with no other information. It's just the blank sticker. It doesn't say who was supposed to go to. It doesn't say what time it was delivered or how to get it.
Are you saying down there?
No, I'm saying up here.
Up here.
No, I don't put the time usually. I will put the name and the date.
Yeah,
Post
that's
office,
very helpful.
The post office will leave a little sticker.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Everybody leaves a sticker now. It's a way to make sure that the delivery person actually went to the stop because we actually have to scan and photo the sticker.
I see that
also.
everybody's photoing the stuff.
Yeah.
I yell out, "Stop taking pictures of my front door!"
Well, the stickers are appreciated if there's more information on it.
Okay.
But it's not FedEx, so don't worry.
Okay. All right. The story, which one do we want to go with first? Gary Schultz goes into, there's video all over. By the way, the owner took full responsibility and said, it's not the employee's fault. They were just following orders. But they tried to kick him out because he had a service dog. And under the Disabilities Act, you can't do that. In fact, they called police, and Whitesboro and Whitestown both responded. I think they handled it very, very well. They informed Venice that it's
allowed.
Is against the law, what you're doing here. And we've asked for Gary to come on. We've not been able to get him to come on up to this point, but we'll try again for tomorrow. Opinion on this, anybody?
You want me to go first?
Go right
because
ahead.
I think mine's going to vary.
You're full of them.
Well, so here's the thing. I completely support the Disabilities Act, and obviously Gary should not have been asked to leave, and they were in the wrong. I completely am on board with that. I just want to say in defense of the employees, first of all, I see, and we've heard about this, I mean, airplanes made a move to say you can't bring your cat or your guinea pig or all these, quote, my emotional support animals. And I think we live in a world now where people may have forgotten that the Disabilities Act existed. Am I saying it correctly? Is it the Disabilities Act?
Yeah.
And I think they've probably run into situations before where someone just brings in their retriever or they bring in their pug and they go, oh, it's my emotional support dog.
Right.
So I think there may be programmed to say when someone brings a pet in, tell them they can't have their pet here. Okay? I think it's an ignorance thing.
How often is that going to happen?
I see it at grocery stores. I see it at convenience stores.
Yeah.
And I was somewhere the other day with Carter. We were in a Dollar General picking up some snacks for a movie night. And the person was walking around with a dog. And I think we all know a lot of times you can spot a real service animal by the way they look, and it says don't pet, where like people are just dragging a dog with them.
That was this situation, though. Is that
this is clear? Did you
German
see the video?
Shepherd?
Oh, absolutely.
Clearly, Mark.
Absolutely. I'm not disputing that at all. I'm just saying I think sometimes the employees, and let's be honest, a lot of pizzeria employees, they're young, they're high school, college age
They were
people.
not in this case.
They weren't?
No.
Okay.
Well,
I see the managers, he doesn't look like a child or a young person.
And the only thing I would say
no offense.
Is there was nobody in the place.
Based on that video, right, that place is pretty empty.
What's it going to do? I mean,
and the dog was calm.
The
so
dog
behaved.
was
so well behaved.
If the dog was like jumping up onto tables and stuff, it's like, get the freak out. That's what I...
Sure, sure.
But this was an absolutely well-trained service dog. And
that's my understanding is that's Gary's... What he
you
does
can only
now.
ask two... Right. This is the thing. Not only... This is the part of this that I'm not sure everybody knows about. He's former state trooper. He's a former trooper. And he, I believe, trains dogs.
Trains these type of dogs.
Trains service dogs. So if there's anybody that knows the law, I mean, this guy knows the law.
No, I'm not disputing the law. I'm just saying in defense of the employees, because you know how people get with animals. I wouldn't be surprised if there's people who show up and want to give a piece of their mind or opinion to the staff who may or may not have been there at the time that this happened and tell them that they're horrible people or, you know, how could you do this? Where I think it was a legitimate misunderstanding.
Dog food in your refrigerator? All right. Listen, I'm...
Also, go ahead.
What a bad mark, though, on Venice. It just doesn't make them look very good.
No.
It doesn't. And I salute the owner for coming out and saying, this is my fault. Don't be mad at them. I told them. And I don't know this, but I would suspect it came from average Joes, people who do not need a service animal, walking in with their pets because they think it's okay.
All right.
And maybe saying...
Well, that's even the...
You got to know the law, though. You got to know.
Yeah, you should. And it's the blurry line of emotional support and service.
But
right?
who knows the law? The 19-year-old working behind the counter or the owner? And that's why I think it's good that the owner took responsibility.
If you own a business, you have to make sure your employees...
Fair. That's fair enough.
Okay, and then the other story is...
one more.
Okay.
To the part of the story, because I read the whole thing. He included in the story that he had ordered food, and when he went over there... when the food came over, he said, I've lost my appetite. I don't want it anymore. Take it back. And
I wouldn't eat that food either.
They charged him. Well, but didn't he know that before they arrived at his table?
No, at the
he
point
knew he wasn't going to eat at that point.
After all the controversy, at that point, I would have been like, do I eat this? Do I not? I mean, you just don't know how people are thinking. So I would have been like contemplating in my head every possible thing that could have happened to that food before I got to my table. Now, that is in general. It has nothing to do with Venice.
Right,
I'm just saying, in general, I would have...
That's why I rarely send anything back.
Yeah. I'm with you. Do you want us to cook it over for you?
Yeah. Oops.
Because Bob will sit on it for you in the kitchen.
Oh, jeez.
And that, again, this has nothing to do with Venice.
Yeah.
I was saying, I don't blame him for not eating it. And then Dana says Gary offered proof, so they could have backed off. And it was, when you look at the picture on the video, actually shows the service dog. It's clear as day that that's a service dog.
Absolutely, I completely agree.
They apparently didn't know the law. I'm familiar with Gary and his dog. Both are phenomenal, says Julie this morning.
I'm sure that they are. And I don't say that to be begrudging of Gary. I think he's doing great stuff.
What I said to my wife when she played the video for me on Sunday night, stop bothering me, I'm sick. Sorry. But the truth is, they picked on the wrong guy.
Yes, they did.
I would say.
Yes,
all right. And then the issue of at NYU, the kid is I've had more people ask, were you at the graduation when the kid read the whole thing about the Palestinians and all that? So he had a speech that school told him, no, like they do everybody, there are rules. No political stuff. Do not get down this road. We need to see and approve your speech in advance. He did that. Then he read another speech, and it included condemning the Israelis in the Gaza war. So NYU stepped in afterwards, and they are refusing him a diploma. Your thoughts?
Andrew, do you want to go first this time? You gave me the red carpet last time.
I'll let you go first.
This
time.
I don't agree with what this person said, and obviously there was some deception involved where he said, here's my speech, but he changed to something else. And again, I do think we're getting to a level here where we've surpassed the level with some of these conversations where it's hate speech, and they're calling for, I've heard that there's some Jewish students who don't feel safe on campuses, and I understand and respect that. If the kid earned his diploma, though, I don't think it's appropriate to take it away.
First of all, I did not see this speech. There's
a lot of different colleges within the university.
15 colleges
right?
at NYU.
Yeah.
And this is the Gallatin school. This is the school that you can, like my daughter said, you're going to spend $500,000 to go to this school, and you're going to blow it and lose your diploma over this. Boy, that's a big deal. But
yeah,
the Gallatin school is you get to pick your own major. Like maybe it's I'm going to major in service dogs, or I'm going to major in it can be anything. And then you get to go to other classes. You pick your classes, and you end up graduating under this degree. So he's already in, and there are about 300 students there. So that was their own graduation. We didn't see that because we were at the arts and science graduation, and then the university's graduation at Yankee Stadium. So we didn't see it. But my feeling is this. You know the consequences. They already told you.
See, that's my
you will
that's my
lose
point.
your diploma
They
if
knew
you
the
violate
risks.
these rules. And he did it anyway. So
Okay.
it's kind of like the guy who walks up and, somebody has insulted his wife, and the cop's like, don't do anything because you're going to be the one in the wrong. And he still walks up to the guy and punches him in the face. Now, he has the right to – he doesn't have the right, but he kind of has the right to break
make that
the law.
decision at least,
But he
yeah.
made that decision knowing there would be consequences. So, all right, I say pull his diploma. What's it worth anyway, to be honest? I don't know what is.
I didn't know the detail that they warned him in advance, and that does somewhat
That changes
change
things.
my
But he
opinion
spent a
little.
lot of money. So that's telling me this is a rich kid.
His parents spent
His
a lot of money.
Yeah.
Rich family that does, it doesn't matter to him, apparently. So he was willing to give that up. Now, or maybe he believes so strongly, because I also feel there's a gray line between this hate speech and protesting, people who are anti-war. It doesn't mean they're anti-Semitic necessarily. However, some probably maybe are. So it's very difficult to distinguish between the two. But the other part is the university has a responsibility. You've got I think in ours there were like 8,000 people in there, 3,000, 4,000 people in the arena during the graduation. You start having a protest like that, and all of a sudden you got people in the stands arguing back and forth. You got a riot going on.
Yeah.
And it's a distraction.
It is. They have a responsibility to keep people safe. I'm with NYU on this one. So I got a break. We'll talk more about it coming up.
From the Stanley Theater Studios, WIBX Utica, Rome,
W295EI,
WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM, a Town Square media station.
President Trump will soon go to the Capitol. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News, to meet with House Republicans and urge them to unite around what he calls one big, beautiful budget bill.
If we don't get it, that means the Democrats will have stopped us, and that means people will get a 68% tax increase, the largest in history.
The bill would extend the 2017 Trump tax cuts. It's a big part of it, but some want changes.
Blue state Republicans want higher caps on state and local tax or SALT deductions. Speaker Johnson is saying we are continuing to work on it. It is not a final resolution yet, but I think we're getting very close. President Trump seems to just want to get it over with today. He is going to leave ahead of a 9 a.m. closed-door meeting on Capitol Hill. As the clock ticks towards this deadline that Republicans set for themselves to get the big, beautiful bill passed by Monday.
Fox's Peter Ducey at the White House. Democrats warn spending cuts in the bill will take away health coverage and food assistance for some Americans in need. A Democratic Congresswoman, LaMonica McIver, facing criminal charges, accused of assaulting and interfering with law enforcement in a clash with federal immigration agents at a New Jersey detention center earlier this month. Border Czar Tom Homan just told Fox.
You certainly can't put hands on an ICE agent. So, she's going to have to pay the consequences for doing what she did. She broke the law, and we're going to hold her accountable.
Congresswoman McIver claims ICE agents escalated it, and they've distorted her actions, calling the charges purely political. Israel went after Hamas again overnight with airstrikes that Palestinians say killed at least 60 people. Britain, France, and Canada are urging the Israelis to halt this new offensive.
They say the level of human suffering is intolerable, with aid agencies warning of famine among Gaza's 2 million-plus population. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu yesterday allowed 9 trucks carrying aid to enter.
Fox's Jonathan Savage. They've captured another fugitive in New Orleans, a man who was jailed for murder. He was one of 10 who broke out last Friday, 6 others on the run. America's listening to Fox News.
Progressive presents Employee of the Month. Small Business Edition. Today's recipient from Michaela's Mobile Spa, Michaela! Michaela got a quick business insurance quote from Progressive and chose from over 30 customizable coverages. Sure, it helps she's her only employee and does literally everything. But while others would rest on their laurels, Michaela was hard at work saving big. So take that, hypothetical other employee who doesn't exist. Be your own Michaela. See if you could save in as little as 7 minutes at ProgressiveCommercial.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Coverage is not available in all states or for all vehicles and coverage selections.
Hey, it's Mike Rowe, and if you want to do business with a company that actually stands for something, switch to Pure Talk. I did. Sure, I appreciate being on America's most dependable 5G network with unlimited talk and text for just $20 a month. But what I really appreciate is Pure Talk's commitment to our military and to our skilled workforce. That matters to me. Save 50% off your first month when you dial pound 250 and say keyword Mike Rowe. Pure Talk, a wireless company that actually stands for something.
The day before President Trump's trip to the Capitol pushing that massive budget bill, he signed other legislation into law to help protect kids and others from being exploited online.
Artificial intelligence and social media are like digital candy for the next generation, First Lady Melania Trump says.
But unlike sugar, these new technologies can be weaponized.
The First Lady helped advocate for the Take It Down Act, imposing stricter penalties on revenge porn and deepfake images published online. President Trump signed the measure into law in the Rose Garden.
Working with our First Lady, though, we've shown that bipartisanship is possible. I mean, it's the first time I've seen such a level of bipartisanship.
The Senate approved the bill unanimously. It won House approval 409-2. At the White House, Jared Halpern, Fox News.
The Supreme Court has sided with the Trump administration in an immigration case, lifting a judge's block on the order to strip temporary protected status from 350,000 Venezuelan migrants, which could lead to more deportations. Former FBI Director James Comey is shrugging off the controversy he created last week.
Comey, who was fired by President Trump in 2017, says he doesn't understand what the fuss was all about. Last week, he posted a photo of shells in the sand with the numbers 8647 on it. His post reading, "Cool shell formation on my beach walk." The 47 referring to President Trump, the 47th president. The number 86, according to Merriam-Webster Dictionary, means to kill. Comey says he didn't see the post as a call for violence and deleted it when it sparked a furor. Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem says Secret Service agents questioned Comey about the post, saying on X that it remains an ongoing investigation. Sue Guzman, Fox News.
On Wall Street, stock futures are mixed before today's trading up a bit for the Dow, down a little for the NASDAQ. I'm Dave Anthony. This is Fox News.
Good morning. WIBX 950 AM 92.3 FM news time is 8:05. I'm Megan Stone with your news update brought to you by Adirondack Home Furniture. 45 degrees and cloudy outside. Here is your news update. I'm Megan Stone. A 16-year-old was arrested on attempted robbery charges in the city of Utica. Authorities say officers responded to a call around the 500 block of Jefferson Avenue for a reported robbery. Police spoke with the victim, who said a male had approached them and demanded their money while brandishing a handgun. The victim refused and the suspect fled. Officers found the alleged suspect a short distance away and detained him. The 16-year-old was taken to Utica Police Department and charged with attempted robbery in the first degree. Due to his age, his identity is being withheld. A group of Whitesboro teens are being hailed as heroes for saving a family whose house was on fire. Aiden Kane, Tyler Saja, and Donato Jelenik were heading to a friend's house in Marcy after prom late Saturday when they spotted a large garage fire at a person's home. The teens sprang into action, calling 911 and evacuating the family, a father and his two little girls that were sleeping at the time, from the residence. Saja even checked the garage that was on fire to ensure no one was trapped inside. The Maynard Fire Department called the teens' actions heroic. Because of their actions, the fire was contained to the garage and did not spread to the home. The cause of the fire is under investigation. Utica police released more information about the shooting of a 16-year-old juvenile. Authorities say they responded to a call around the 900 block of Sunset Avenue on Friday night and found a teen boy that had been suffering from a gunshot wound to the leg. The injury was non-life-threatening, police say, and an investigation of the area produced a loaded Glock handgun. Utica police said all aspects of the nature of the injury are being investigated but have not released further information. The Major Crimes Unit is handling the case. Doctors say you're better off skipping the snooze on your alarm. A new study published in the journal Scientific Reports says the minutes just before waking are the most important phase of sleep when rapid eye movements are at their peak. Apparently, snoozing interrupts that. They advise you set your alarm for the latest possible time, then commit to getting out of bed the first time it goes off. And the winner of the Preakness Stakes will be heading to Saratoga Racecourse soon. Journalism crossed the finish line first on Saturday at Pimlico Racecourse, just ahead of Goscar. Journalism is now prepping for the Belmont Stakes at the Spa, which would set up another showdown with Sovereignty, who beat him in the Kentucky Derby earlier this month. The Belmont Stakes is June 7th. Your WIBX news time is 8:07. Here is your full WIBX Weather Center forecast.
It will be cold enough for areas of frost early on this Tuesday, otherwise mostly cloudy, a high near 63 today, and more clouds tonight with a low in the mid-40s. Tomorrow, showers spread in during the afternoon with a high near 60, and then windy, wet, and cool for Thursday and Friday with periods of rain and highs only reaching the low to mid-50s. I'm Jeff Marr at the Weather Channel on WIBX 950 AM and 92.3 FM.
45 degrees and cloudy. Let's take a look at sports. Sports brought to you by the IBEW 43 Local Sports Desk. A former Jets general manager is heading back to the city of brotherly love. ESPN reported yesterday that Joe Douglas was hired by the Eagles in a senior scouting role. In other news, Gang Green continues OTAs today, while the Giants, they get started next week. Elsewhere, NFL executives are gathering in Minnesota today for the Spring League meeting. The two-day event features proposals which could affect the upcoming season if passed. Top items on the agenda include a change to playoff seeding and a ban on the tush-push play. The Mets dropped their series opener to the Red Sox 3-1. Kodai Senga got the loss after giving up all 3 runs over 6 innings. Tyrone Taylor drove in the lone run for New York, which has dropped back-to-back games. They now sit second in the NL East, a half game behind the Phillies. They try to bounce back tonight. The Yankees, they're back on the big league diamond tonight. The team battles the Rangers for the first of 3 games at home. Will Warren gets the start opposite Patrick Corbin. The Yankees have won 5 of their last 7 and lead the AL East at 27-19. The NBA Conference Finals are set to tip off. The Thunder will host the Timberwolves in Game 1 of the Western Conference Finals tonight. The Eastern Conference Finals get underway Wednesday when the Knicks welcome the Indiana Pacers to Madison Square Garden. And the quest for a spot in the Stanley Cup Final begins tonight. The Hurricanes and Panthers clash in Game 1 of the Eastern Conference Final from Raleigh. Florida is making its 3rd straight ECF appearance after winning the Cup last season. Meanwhile, the Western Conference Final kicks into gear on Wednesday when the Stars and Oilers duel in Dallas. Edmonton is trying to make it back to the Cup Final after falling to Florida last year. Your WIBX news time is 8:10, 45 degrees and cloudy outside. WIBX 950 AM, 92.3 FM. I'm Megan Stone.
Let me tell you about some pain. If you're struggling with pain, neck pain, back pain, you can critique me on this. Neck pain, back pain, knee, wrist, arthritis. We're talking about Revive Soft Wave Therapy with Dr. Timothy Delmedico, an FDA-cleared, non-invasive, and drug-free treatment dealing with chronic pain, inflammation, and all joint issues. You can ask about their $99 new patient special. It's an introductory discovery offer. The session includes a consultation with one of their doctors, soft wave therapy treatment, and a treatment recovery plan and assessment. Andrew, do you remember who endorses this?
I do.
And who uses it? Go ahead.
Rob Esch.
Rob Esch. That's all you're going to go with?
Well, that's
that's all that matters, right? The Giants.
Oh, yeah, all the sports teams.
The Steelers, Forbes, Mayo
MLB
Clinic
teams.
It's really used
myself
around the world, and even Andrew and I use it as well. Call today to schedule an appointment, 315-725-8427. Revive Soft Wave Therapy with Dr. Timothy Delmedico. And if you're looking for masonry work right now, call Brank Construction. Call 315-894-3481. Old stone walls or block walls, repairs of stairs, cellarways, or entrances, maybe creating a stairway, basement floors, garage floors. If it's masonry work, call Brank today at 315-894-3481. They get the job done right and right on time at the right price, which is always a big deal. It's Brank Construction, 315-894-3481. Manaski and Andrew, both in as guest hosts here this morning. We'll come right back at WIBX. I got calls to take. I got people with comments about the two of you. Oh, boy. We'll get to all of it coming up here. Hold on.
Celebrate AmeriQ Credit Union's 75th anniversary with an extra 0.75% off your auto and rec loans. Apply today at ameriq.org/loan sale.
People with diabetes or prediabetes measure blood sugar to make informed decisions about diet and medications. Continuous glucose monitoring devices, or CGMs, measure blood sugar through a wearable skin sensor that transmits data to an app, insulin pump, or receiver. Continuous monitoring? No finger stick required. Kinney Pharmacies accept most insurance for CGMs, and big news, now Medicare Part B too. If you have a prescription for a CGM, talk to your Kinney pharmacist or visit KinneyDrugs.com.
We're the power and power equipment. White's Farm Supply.
At Kubota, we want to help you deliver a job done right. That's why we want you to know that new Kubota inventory is arriving daily. You have work to do. We have the reliable, durable, and versatile lineup to help you do it. Visit us at whitesfarmsupply.com.
We're the power and power equipment. White's Farm Supply.
Spring cleaning is underway everywhere, but spring greening tops the list in Old Forge. Your Adirondack backyard is ready for Memorial Day when we honor our troops who made the ultimate sacrifice. Memorial Day weekend, we launch the summer season with the Great Adirondack Garage Sale throughout our communities. We have something for the whole family. Hiking, biking, boating, dining, and shopping, or just kick back and enjoy the scenery. Check out all the possibilities at oldforgeny.com.
Not everyone who handles your personal information is as careful as you are, which might explain why there's a victim of identity theft every 5 seconds in the United States. Fortunately, there's LifeLock. LifeLock will monitor hundreds of millions of data points a second for threats to your identity. And if your identity's stolen, a U.S.-based restoration specialist will fix it guaranteed, or your money back. Save 40% your first year with my name, Clay, as your promo code at LifeLock.com. LifeLock. For the threats you can't control, terms apply.
This is Shannon Bream. Join me for Fox News Sunday as we sit down with a diverse and dynamic group of guests featuring interviews with political, business, and public affairs newsmakers from the U.S. and abroad. All part of the Sunday political block from Fox News Radio. Fox News Sunday, every Sunday, right here on this station.
Fox News Sunday, airing 11 a.m. every Sunday, only on WIBX 950 AM and 92.3 FM.
WIBX.
This is Keeler.
WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM.
Now back to the Keeler Show.
Okay, in studio here this morning as guest host, it's kind of like a little reunion, a little throwback. Manaski and Andrew both in. Davey, it's just like the without Christine.
If you could have seen the look on
Just like the
Andrea
old
Heath's
days.
face
when she walked in here.
she literally, speaking of dinosaurs at the zoo, she's like went into a time warp and she was so confused
why we were here.
Yeah.
Well, and Bill, they say, what's the song lyric? Things aren't as good as they used to be and probably never were.
Well, that's a Will Rogers quote.
Well, I dispute that in our case.
Yes, it was even better than you.
It was better than we remember.
Yeah. The Falcon Clinic in Washington Mills is accepting new patients. The Falcon Clinic is the area's premier osteopathic medical clinic, and they're accepting new patients right now. If you're in need of a new family doctor, or maybe you have something going on, like I did, and you're wondering what, don't you love when you go to your doctor and they tell you, well, I don't think it could be that. We're just not even going to do anything about, you're curious about you're probably reading Google. You don't get into that with the Falcon Clinic because they are so thorough. Dr. Shemaleski and Dr. Zielinski, incredibly thorough, looking to get to the bottom of whatever it is that ails you. I highly recommend them. It's the Falcon Clinic in Washington Mills, 315-507-4751. Manaski. It's got to be brutal out there doing umpiring in this weather.
Oh, yeah.
The umpiring stinks. Megan said to me that it's probably not nice delivering in this weather. And to be honest with you, it's not that bad because when the sun is out and we're in 75 degrees, it's like being on AstroTurf Field. It's 75 air temperature, but it's 90 in the truck, you know?
Right.
So it's sweating and it's hot and it wears you out. So I don't mind delivering in this, but yeah, I like as I mentioned earlier, I think I got wind burn on my face last night from doing a game. And I was in there, I was there with my jacket on, and I had 2 shirts and a long sleeve on under my jacket, and it was still freezing. I was doing that almost like you have to go to the bathroom dance, but I was just trying to stay warm. I was trying to walk in place and move in place.
Is that a ball or a strike? I can't tell.
Joe, I'm going to get to you. Oh, I got a bunch here. Speaking of umping, I really felt you just keep your mouth shut over there.
Oh, here
I really felt
go.
the game. I really felt the game on Sunday, Yankees-Mets. The ump was that strike zone was inconsistent.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. It was bad.
And also, it was like it was so small. If you got anywhere near the corners, and you're pitching to Judge for God's sakes, or to Soto or any of Pete Alonso, whatever. But it really, I'm not saying it was on one side or the other. I just felt like that strike zone was all of a sudden small, then all of a sudden he's like, okay.
Bad. He was bad.
Yeah, I didn't like him.
Yeah.
You're going to defend the umps. I get it.
No, I actually wish
the brothers in blue over here.
It's not popular to say this if you're an umpire because it would probably cost umpires jobs. But why not? They have the technology.
I know.
And there's so much arguing over what's a ball and what's a strike, and it would be consistent. You're calling them high, you're calling them outside. At that level, just use the technology you got.
I know. Yeah.
Or at least, so they've been trying it.
Will be exactly accurate for every batter and every team.
It's coming.
They've been testing this in the minor leagues, and I went to a spring training game this year, and they have it. At least the ability, and I know it'll drag the game on, but you can challenge in AAA and then the spring training. You can challenge balls or strikes.
I will say in defense of the umpires,
at the very least, they can try that out for a while.
The particular umpire you're talking about Sunday, I mean, how many pitches do you think he saw? 300, 350, maybe 250? And how many did he miss?
Probably 250.
Well, I stand corrected then.
I see where you're going with that. Here is Joe Load. Good morning, Joe.
Good morning. I was feeling a little out of place, with all the nostalgia. I figured I'd just call and chime in.
Well,
I will be at Citi Field Sunday, Will.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so my girlfriend's a huge Dodgers fan, which is not my favorite, but because, of course, last year I lost to them in the World Series. But she's never been to a Major League Baseball game, so the Dodgers are playing the Mets, and Sunday night I'll be at Citi Field.
Very cool.
So where are you going to be sitting?
Right behind the Dodgers dugout.
Okay, so you got nice seats then.
Oh yeah, well it's her first experience,
yeah, nice.
So you got to make it worthwhile. So she'll want to go to a major league game again.
So I was at the game last Wednesday, and the Mets played no offense, and I went out to the bar to grab a drink in between innings, and there were these 2 young, very pretty girls sitting at the corner of the bar, and because that's what these baseball stadiums have become, right? Restaurants, clubs, and bars.
Yeah.
And I asked the bartender for a drink, and he said, "I need your ID."
Oh, jeez.
And the two very pretty, probably 24-year-olds were like, "You are going to ID him?" And I'm like,
yeah.
I said, wait until you get a little older.
Yeah.
You piece of garbage. And by the way, it's worse on women than it is men. So good luck.
Yeah, exactly.
Good luck with that.
Exactly. I was always ugly.
I still get annoyed.
You were at least young and pretty at one point.
That's right. That's a good point. All right. Well, that'll be great, Joe. You're gonna see. What is it? Saturday or Sunday?
Sunday night, 7
Sunday
o'clock
night.
game.
So another Sunday night game for
ESPN.
the Mets. Late game, yeah.
Yeah.
Not late, but 7 o'clock start.
Yep. All right, that's cool,
and
Joe.
This will be my second trip to Citi Field. It's kind of a really nice field to go watch a game at.
It's really one of the nicest in Major League Baseball, I think, to watch a game right now. So, yeah. All right, well, enjoy it. Go.
It's a lot less expensive than Yankee Stadium.
It's
close.
expensive.
It's close.
That'll be changing soon.
I found tickets much cheaper, but it's been a few years since I've been to Yankee Stadium anyway.
I've heard that the Legends seating at Yankee Stadium right behind home plate, they're $249 a ticket, which is a lot. But you have access to unlimited non-alcoholic beverages. And the buffets they put out include steak, prime rib, lobster, salmon. I mean,
it's pretty good.
Right. Yeah. I wouldn't recommend, I don't know. It depends on what your situation is, but $1,000 for a family of 4 is a lot of money, but at least you're getting more than hot dogs and burgers.
And I got to tell you, these stadiums now, it's crazy. The foods they're serving and it's unbelievable.
On the West Coast trip for the Yankees games, you could see there's like a waiter that would come I think in Oakland or maybe Seattle, I forget which one. They had waiters coming to people behind the home plate.
That's Citi Field.
Serving them.
You don't even have to get out of your seat.
They do that too. Yeah,
they come right to you and
I hear Soto wanted 10 unlimited Legends seats tickets a game, and they wouldn't give it to him. So.
All right, blah, blah, blah. Okay, thank you, Joe. Thank you.
Have a great day.
Have a good one. Lucia, you're on. Good morning.
Lucia.
Andrew and
Good morning.
Good morning. Andrew is back.
Yes,
that's right.
I missed you too, Lucia.
I do not know, Mr. What did you say? What?
I said I missed you too.
He missed you.
I bet.
Yeah.
I bet. But you're good. I missed you. I mean it.
Lucia, Jeff's a New York Mills guy. He's like the mayor, the honorary mayor of New York Mills.
Yeah, I'm not.
Who is that? Who's that?
It's Jeff Manansky. No, not you.
No, I'm not the mayor of New York Mills. Not me.
Okay.
No. But I want to say hello to Mr. Manansky.
Yes.
I don't think I know him. Do I know him, Bill?
I think you do. Yeah, you've met him before. Yeah.
Anyway, hello.
He's not very memorable, apparently. So,
well, not for Lucia.
No.
And is Bill Keeler there?
I am here. Good morning.
Bill is there. Bonjour,
Lucia. Well, listen.
What I wanted to say.
I wanted to take your call and let you say hello to these guys because they're not normally here. So, pretty wild.
Right. So that was great. And you went to all these games, Bill. It's so exciting,
Well, we went to one game, and it was not exciting. It was actually depressing, but it was pretty cool still to be there and see.
So you went to Friday's game?
No, we were at last Wednesdays.
Why depressing? Your team lost? Why depressing?
They lost.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, but you were there, so why?
Yep,
You're right. They'll win.
You're right.
Tel Aviv,
That's what, as my wife said, suck it up. Come on, you were there.
I've never been to one of those games, but I don't understand anything about any sports like that.
Well, it's good times, so.
But you know what I was?
Where were you?
I was at the cathedral in New York City, going to the mass in the morning on Sunday, to a regular mass, right? On the other side, there was a woman running, only her and me, trying to get to the mass. Guess what happened? When the woman, I said, oh, she's running too for the mass, I'm sure.
Yeah.
So she got in the back of the church. We got in. There were all the stuff, how they program on TV. And you don't pay attention in New York. You just go. So I go inside, and all these people are sitting, so I'm rushing to sit down, right?
Yeah.
The lady went, and she was, what's her name? Brainstainer? What's his name? Help me.
Who is it? Branston?
Brainstainer? Yeah, no, Brainstainer.
Steinbrenner?
The big coach. Yeah.
Well, it can't be.
She went to him, and he hugged her. It was his wife.
Oh,
for me, I look,
Steinbrenner.
Hale Steinbrenner?
Hale Steinbrenner's wife. Wow.
Yeah. So he hugged her. I kept going.
Yeah.
I went to look for a seat, right? Oh, it's packed. I go towards the front, and guess what happens? In New York, you go, no matter how packed it is, I want room to sit down. There is a little room. So I said, excuse me, to somebody.
Yeah.
And the guy moved. He moved, and I went to sit down. I sit down. I don't know who they were. No clue about anything. And then Cardinal come out. O'Connor. I love them.
So you're at St. Patrick's then.
Yeah.
St. Patrick Cathedral in New York City on Fifth Avenue. Not Fifth. What's the other one?
Yeah.
I can think of the name.
Yeah.
I'm talking so fast to you.
That's okay.
So
You're good. Yeah.
So then you know what happens. The Cardinal comes out, right? And what do I see a minute before? Giuliani.
Wow.
It was the Sunday Mass.
So Giuliani, and he was a great mayor when he was.
Yes.
And so I went to him. Oh, I said, Mr. Giuliani, you cleaned the city. It's phenomenal because it's what after that, I went to sit down. Nice to meet you. Bye. Here comes the Cardinal announcing this is a mess for the Yankees. They won.
Oh.
Blessings
so this is
on
back
the
when they that's why they were all there.
But I don't know who they were. So
The Yankees. They're the Yankees. I don't know who they are either. It's just
more importantly, I want to know what Lucia thinks about the first American pope. I mean, this is monumental.
That's a good question.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Like, can you believe I'm with all these people here shaking?
Yeah.
And I'm just watching. Oh my God! I went home. My daughter said, "Mom, I saw you on TV." I said, "Oh, I don't like to be on TV."
No.
Can you believe it? Me and the Yankees.
I can. Your luck.
Crazy.
I'm telling you, it's your luck, Lucia. So,
Crazy.
what do you think of the new pope?
Oh, but you know what? To come to my house, Clete Boyer. He was a Yankee guy,
Clete Boyer.
right?
Yes.
He invited in Cooperstown. He invited himself, asked Gino to come to my home.
Yeah. Clete Boyer.
Yeah, can you believe it? I didn't know who he was. You know, incredible. So the Pope now, I think is a great Pope.
Yeah.
I hope he is. You know, he will be.
Sure.
I'm sure he's a holy man. And we'll take it from there. We'll
All right.
see.
We'll see what happens. All right, Lucia,
Right.
thank you. And great story about the Yankees. Love it.
Yeah, it's true. Thank you, Bill.
Okay.
And Angel, good luck.
Thank
and,
you.
Mr. Monansky. Ciao.
Good to hear from you. Ciao.
All right.
I wonder if Father Sean, being from Chicago, knows the Pope. Have you talked to him about this yet?
We have. He does not know the Pope.
Okay. But so the Pope's brother lives in Port Charlotte, which is just north of us, or in the same region.
Oh,
it was so
down
funny
there.
to see, like, on the news report. It's just interesting that you've got his American brothers that are just kind of living in Florida and wherever they are.
What is phenomenal is when you hear the Pope talk.
Yeah.
Like he just sounds like an American.
Yeah.
Right? I mean,
it's crazy.
That's so foreign to see that. On the line.
He's so domestic. It's so foreign.
That's right. It's so foreign. On the line right now is Mayor Mike Galimi, who we were just actually talking about. And what's your question for the mayor? What were we?
Hello, Bill.
Oh, it's not the mayor.
I actually had a few questions for the mayor, to be honest.
Davey, you got us again. Good morning, Stefan. Are you home?
Going home today,
Okay.
and welcome back, Jeff and Andrew.
Well, thank you, buddy. It's good to hear your voice.
Stefan.
Now, I gotta get your guys' temperature. Rob
98.7.
Manfred
6.
reinstated Pete Rose and Shoeless Joe Jackson, and they're eligible to be in the Hall of Fame
They'll
now.
both make it in.
What do you all think of that?
I think they'll both make it in.
Now, if they're made eligible, do they have the so many years of eligibility?
I think so.
Yeah, that's wild.
2028 they'll go in.
Okay.
2028.
Wait, they're going in already?
Well,
We know
they'll be eligible in 2028.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
I reached out to Craig Muter last week while you were gone, Bill, to see if we could get him on, but
Well,
he
I
says
think
he can't make a statement.
I think the Hall of Fame likes to stay out of those
Yes.
things.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah. What are your thoughts?
Well, I think it's about time.
You do.
Yeah.
I think it's unfortunate in the Pete Rose situation that it's come after his death. On the Shoeless Joe Jackson, the allegation is, and I believe it was proven, I don't think it's an allegation, is that he was bribed and given money to throw the World Series. Why they would ever repeal and make him eligible is a stunner to me. I mean, that's the betting on baseball with Pete Rose. I get it. That's bad and bright, and people want to separate, well, he was a manager then versus what he did versus a player. But as a player, Shoeless Joe is alleged to have taken bribes to throw the World Series. I think that makes you ineligible.
And did. Yeah, that's the other part.
I mean, do we not take the game seriously?
I think with Pete Rose's situation, and for the record, I think they'll both get in. I just don't, I'm not saying that I support Jackson in that situation. But with Pete Rose, he should have been given eligibility the day they started putting in kiosks to bet on games in the stadium.
Yes, that's a good point, Andrew.
The exact moment.
Yeah, but players are still restricted.
Yes, and umpires, too. Of course, there's a story of an umpire, a young umpire who lost his gig.
That was just his buddy was on his account.
Yeah.
I am torn on this issue, to be honest.
Pete Rose?
Yeah.
I'm also torn, and I my point is I respect the arguments.
I think you let him
in.
in.
The Shoeless Joe thing is just bonkers to me.
I think he goes in with an asterisk, and it should be explaining that these are his accomplishments, but here's the blemish. And we're all going to know that anyway, but right? I mean,
I agree.
To me, that would be the proper way to do it.
I agree.
And there's a difference, though. I will just say a difference between betting on your team to win and maybe they lost, as opposed to what
somebody brought up a very
impacting
interesting
the game.
You talk. Go with your opinion on this, because to that very point.
I was just going to say that he claims he always bet on his team, and it'd be interesting if he did. But I mean, how bad of a bettor are you? I mean, the Reds were not good.
Well,
he's betting on them every night. Just make a donation someplace.
Talk to anybody who habitually will bet on games.
So here's
the odds are usually not in their favor.
So here's but normally we don't have a way to change the game. Or players, or he was manager at the time, right?
Yeah,
and player. But here's the thing that I was told, and I think it makes a lot of sense, and that is that it may be what he does on Monday night's game, and he bets for them to win, and he's thrown everything at Monday night's game to win, which means Vegas will react on Tuesday or react on any day that he's not betting. See what I
understand your point. Yeah. I think it's a great point.
So
it's a great point.
You may still be it's still giving an advantage to Vegas. I feel.
I would
potentially.
I respect the arguments really on all sides here. But I just hope that the voters,
Shoeless Joe.
For Shoeless Joe, send a message and say, no, I'm sorry, even though he's dead. But
showing of hands, how many of us really know much about Shoeless Joe other than the scandal?
Just the scandal, but I think that's enough.
Yeah.
But with Pete Rose, too, it comes down to performance on the field. I mean, the guy was, one of the best baseball players ever.
And again, Shoeless Joe didn't take money to throw a World Series as a manager. He did it as one of the star players. It's one of the biggest, they call them the Black Sox. It's one of the biggest black eyes in baseball history, in sports history.
Stefan, quickly, your opinion?
Well, I think as the baseball player, Pete Rose deserves to be in, but off the field, no. And Shoeless Joe Jackson, I don't know too much about him.
Okay. All right. Have a great day, Stephen. Thank you, man.
Bye, guys.
Stephen also said, based on the performance lately, Juan Soto won't be in the Hall.
I just also want to say, in honor of Pete Rose, I'd like to know what the odds are that he gets in on his first ballot.
Mike, this morning regarding automation, baseball will go the way of tennis, which adopted automation years ago. Right. There will be an initial stink about it, but eventually it will be embraced.
And umpires won't lose jobs. They still got to have plate umpires and things
like
of that
like
nature.
the judge in tennis. He's still there. It's just when there's a very close call, sometimes he can be challenged.
Yeah.
So.
And to your point earlier on umpires, the number of bad calls versus the number of calls they make in a game. During that Yankees-Mets series, we saw some great calls at the plate that I think almost, maybe with the exception of one, they got everyone right. It's pretty incredible how they were able to, as an umpire, able to see, and I get all excited. I'm looking up in the air by the time I'm done. I missed the whole play.
So this may be a new can of worms, but with the automation of the strike zone, right?
Yeah.
Is it going to change per batter? Is the strike zone different for an Aaron Judge or Giancarlo
This
Stanton?
is a great debate, and this is a great discussion.
Or is it for somebody
you
that's
have like
shorter?
Jose Altuve versus Aaron Judge? Is the
like
box
do they adjust the box per player?
Right, that the pitcher's target, does that change? And that's a great question.
I don't
That's
know
a
the
great
answer
question.
to that.
I think if you ask 10 different umpires, you might get 7 different answers.
Steve Ponte Mazda, the Move to Mazda sales event is back. You can save on a new Mazda lease or enjoy 0.9% APR financing on new 2025 Mazda CX-30s, 5s, 50s, 70s, and CX-90s. See the dealership for details. Mazda finished 2024 with a 16.8% sales increase year over year and awarded more IIHS Top Safety Plus picks. That's Safety Pick Plus awards. Sorry, I'm getting into picks and betting on baseball. Than any other brand. Ricky Z says, come on in. Let's make your deal on a new Mazda at Steve Ponte Mazda Commercial Drive in Yorkville.
The Memorial Day sale is on at Mattress Express. No one in New York State has all the brands we have. Tempur-Pedic, Stearns & Foster, Sealy, Purple, Puffy, the Smart Bed by Instant Comfort, Posh and Lavish. And now we have added Simmons Beauty Rest Black, Serta, and Avocado. Hurry.
Don't miss Clinton Tractor Spring Sales Event. We're giving you the best deals of the season on all of our inventory. Thousands of used and new equipment in stock, all in one location. Get 0% financing on new Ferris commercial mowers, Massey Ferguson, and New Holland equipment, and trailers and used equipment as low as 5.49%. Restrictions apply. We're giving you the best deals of the season. It's Clinton Tractor Spring Sales Event.
We are the leader in service, Clinton Tractor.
ClintonTractor.net.
Hey, it's me, your liver. You know, the organ that helps you recover every weekend after pizza, donuts, and all those drinks. But where's the love for your best buddy, the liver? The least that you could do to help me stay healthy is take Active Liver from New Nordic. Active Liver provides an easy daily detox and helps protect me all year long.
You can find Active Liver at CVS and online at Amazon or directly from NewNordicUSA.com. Again, in stores at CVS or NewNordicUSA.com.
We've extended our first Bloom bridal sale at Steve Lennon & Company Jewelers. Now through May 31st, buy one wedding band, get one free, or take 30% off all engagement ring settings. See us today at Steve Lennon & Company Jewelers in the Village of New Hartford.
This is Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell. Cordell & Cordell is the largest family law firm in the country, with over 35 years of helping clients navigate divorce. That does give us certain advantages, for example, in focus and resources. But being big doesn't mean less personal or less local. Our attorneys live and work in your community, and as neighbors, they understand the challenges your families face. If you're a guy facing divorce, remember, Cordell & Cordell, a partner you can count on.
518-554-0000, 100 Great Oaks, Albany.
Good morning, WIBX 950 AM 92.3 FM. I'm Megan Stone with your news update brought to you by the new destination Kia of Utica, Commercial Drive, Yorkville. The two remaining Oneida County Corrections officers had their day in court Monday to accept or reject a plea offer regarding the beating death of inmate Robert Brooks. Both officers rejected their offers. Matthew Gallagher was offered to plead guilty to gang assault charges, which carries a sentence of 12 years behind bars, but he now faces 25 years to life if convicted. Meanwhile, Nicholas Anzalone was offered to plead guilty to murder and face 18 years to life in prison, but he now faces 25 years to life behind bars. Both are due back in court in June. Water shutoffs continue in the village of Ilion. The shutoffs are due to water valve replacements. Areas affected by today's shutoffs will be West Prospect Street from Barringer Road to Shull and Division Street. Surrounding areas may be affected if further valve installations are deemed necessary. Tomorrow, the area from Shull Street from West Prospect Street, West Rand Street, Harrison Avenue, Vosburg Street, Clark Place, West Montgomery Street from Division Street to Clark Place will be affected. Shutoffs will continue through the end of the month. The shutoff schedule is available online on the Village of Ilion's Facebook page. A group of Whitesboro teens are being hailed as heroes for saving a family whose home was on fire. Aiden Kane, Tyler Saja, and Donato Jelinek were heading to a friend's house in Marcy after prom late Saturday when they spotted a large garage fire at a person's home. The teens sprang into action, calling 911 and evacuating the family, a father and his 2 little girls that were sleeping, from the residence. Saja even checked the garage to ensure no one was trapped there. The Maynard Fire Department called the teens' actions heroic. Because of their actions, the fire was contained to the garage and did not spread to the home. The cause of the fire is under investigation. And surgeons in Southern California have performed the first human bladder transplant. The operation was performed earlier this month by a pair of surgeons from the University of California, Los Angeles, and the University of Southern California. The patient, a 41-year-old man who lost most of his bladder capacity from treatments from a rare form of bladder cancer. The doctors plan to perform bladder transplants in 4 more patients as part of a clinical trial. Your Weather Center forecast is next. WIBX 950 AM 92.3 FM. I'm Megan Stone.
It will be cold enough for areas of frost early on this Tuesday, otherwise mostly cloudy, a high near 63 today, and more clouds tonight with a low in the mid-40s. Tomorrow, showers spread in during the afternoon with a high near 60, and then windy, wet, and cool for Thursday and Friday with periods of rain and highs only reaching the low to mid-50s. I'm Jeff Marr at the Weather Channel on WIBX 950 AM and 92.3 FM.
Do you have a temperature over there?
I do, yeah. It is a balmy 44 degrees.
And a little bit of hazy sunshine out there. This is the worst week leading up to Memorial Day. I just cannot believe this weather. All right, President Biden announcing that he has been diagnosed with an aggressive stage of prostate cancer. Let's talk about that right now. From Fox News Radio, the one, the only, Tanya J. Powers. Good morning.
Hey, good morning.
Obviously not a fun topic, but something that it amazes me that he didn't have a PSA test, which is the test you get to determine whether or not you have prostate cancer. And a lot of doctors are saying this did not just happen. This is a slow-moving cancer, and he's had it for several years.
I can tell you what we have gotten so far as facts.
Okay.
I'm not a medical professional, so I'm going to leave speculation to everybody else.
Fair enough.
Because everybody else seems to be doing a fine job of that.
Appreciate that.
I mean, but what we do know is that we learned over the weekend that he had been diagnosed with prostate cancer. They say it is an aggressive cancer. That he had a Gleason score of 9. Now, prior to then, I did not know what a Gleason score was. I don't know if y'all were familiar with it, but apparently they range from 6 to 10. 8, 9, and 10 are the more aggressive ones.
Yeah.
He has a 9. It is apparently also metastasized to the bone, which is also not a good sign. His office, though, does say that it is hormone sensitive. The kind of cancer appears to be that, which allows for effective management. That was their statement, that they're reviewing some treatment options with his doctors and everything. This is, of course, not the first brush with cancer, unfortunately, that his family has had. A decade ago, his son Beau died from a brain tumor. In the past decade, Dr. Jill Biden has also had 2 cancerous lesions removed. Now, of course, the former president's own diagnosis. That is kind of, it's interesting also that he has really made fighting cancer a focus of his presidency. Right. If you'll recall the cancer moonshot that he had talked about even before he was elected president, but he, kind of resurrected that initiative to get more funding for research and improve treatment. He, put that out in like 2022 when we kind of, got that going again for the research. That's one of the things he has also focused on throughout his political career. So that's kind of where things are at this point.
So it's interesting what we can. Tomorrow we're going to have a urologist down to really talk about, because I think it can be a learning experience for all of us. That your regular in fact, I'm scheduled right now for a PSA test, which is the screening for prostate cancer. And I will do that in 2 weeks. It's just a blood test. Although my doctor did say they've changed the rules, no hanky-panky for 3 weeks before. Yeah. That's what I was told. So you don't have to comment on that, Tanya. My apologies.
I didn't say a word. Listen, I'm not. Look, I will tell you, I'm going to mama y'all for just a minute.
Yes.
And I'm going to remind you that if it's caught early, prostate cancer is highly survivable. It is the second leading cause of death, cancer death in men. First is skin cancer, which, by the way, don't ignore that either.
Yeah, that's surprising.
That's bad.
About 1 in 8 men will be diagnosed over their lifetime with prostate cancer, according to the American Cancer Society. So, as you just mentioned, you're a good example. Go get your screening.
Yeah.
Even if you have to give up milkshakes for a few weeks,
Yep.
that's fine.
That's a good point. It's a great way to say it.
I knew that's what you were talking about, right?
That is.
Yes.
That's giving up sweets.
So, y'all take care of yourselves, you and all your listeners. We want y'all around.
Get tested.
And Tanya, I'm glad that you were on the morning I was guest hosting. It's good.
They're
to talk
guest
to you.
hosting today, so yes.
I was just tickled to hear. I was like, what is it? You can check out, but you can never leave.
That's right.
That is the Eagle song? Yes,
Yeah.
there you go. So it's Hotel California on the radio.
It really is. So, all right, Tanya, you have a wonderful day. Thanks so much. We appreciate it.
Thank you. Mm-hmm.
Tanya J. Powers from Fox News.
I just want to mention your wife sent a message into the show today. They told you 3 weeks, no hanky-panky. She got a second opinion. They told her 8 weeks. So that's what she's saying.
Yeah.
She wants to be on the safe side, Bill.
I
She's
think
concerned about your health.
She's having a blast with us. Davey, do I need to break here? I do. Quick break. We'll come right back and wrap it up here for this today's Tuesday morning at WIBX.
This is Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell. Cordell & Cordell is the largest family law firm in the country with over 35 years of helping clients navigate divorce. That does give us certain advantages, for example, in focus and resources. But being big doesn't mean less personal or less local. Our attorneys live and work in your community, and as neighbors, they understand the challenges your families face. If you're a guy facing divorce, remember, Cordell & Cordell, a partner you can count on.
518-554-0000, 100 Great Oaks, Albany.
Not everyone who handles your personal information is as careful as you are, which might explain why there's a victim of identity theft every 5 seconds in the United States. Fortunately, there's LifeLock. LifeLock will monitor hundreds of millions of data points a second for threats to your identity. And if your identity's stolen, a U.S.-based restoration specialist will fix it guaranteed or your money back. Save 40% your first year with my name, Clay, as your promo code at LifeLock.com. LifeLock. For the threats you can't control, terms apply.
Hi, this is Brian Seville, CEO of the Good News Foundation. We are excited to introduce a new monthly program designed to provide support and help to our active service members and veterans called Veterans for Worship. This program recognizes the challenges service members and veterans face: stress, anxiety, pain, and difficulties of reintegration. Veterans for Worship offers a safe and uplifting program facilitated by a veteran and is exclusively for current service members and veterans seeking encouragement. Veterans for Worship incorporates faith that helps people like you find grounding, resilience, and strength, promoting healing and hope for the future. We are grateful for your service and believe you will find meaningful support and help. The group meets the third Wednesday of the month at the Good News Center. The program is free, confidential, and connects you with like-minded individuals who share similar experiences. Call the Good News Foundation today at 315-735-6210 to participate. Any active service member or veteran is welcome.
Hey, in Sarah's Flooring Outlet, hardwood blowout savings sale is going on right now. 50% off right now at Sarah's. They have just too much hardwood in their showroom. It is, by the way, they have the largest inventory anywhere, and they just have too much hardwood. It all has to go, so they're holding their big blowout with hardwood right now at Sarah's Flooring Outlet. Get 50% off Premier Hallmark Alta Vista Oak hardwood, just $3.25 a square foot. Another incredible deal is on Mohawk Radiant Oak hardwood, only $3 a square foot. That's 50% savings during the hardwood blowout at Sarah's. An incomparable beauty of white oak hardwood at 50% off, only just $2.75 a square foot at Sarah's Flooring Outlet. Sarah's Flooring Outlet, Route 49 Plaza, which is just down the street from us. And sarahsflooringoutlet.com is the website.
Ferris commercial mowers set the bar with racing-inspired patented full suspension and integrated cutting decks so you can go faster, cut better, and not get beat up. Ferris Experience Suspension. Take advantage of the best financing and prices of the year. Visit us at whitesfarmsupply.com.
We're the power and power equipment. White's Farm Supply.
Hi, my name is Pete Donahue. I've been a school bus driver for Whitesboro for 18 years. What I like best about the job is to get the kids to school every day. I see their smiling faces every single morning. I also like the fact that when I get to drive the school bus, I'm kind of like my own boss, and I get to do the safety with the kids on and off the bus. And I like the time off that I get driving the school bus. You get the summers off. And Andy Kirk is like the best boss ever, and he's really good to the employees. The number's 315-768-9740.
Hey, one more. If you have a home improvement on your list, like new windows, siding, or a bathroom remodel, but not sure how to pay for it all, New York Sash makes it easy with flexible financing options. They understand that upgrading your home is a big investment, which is why they offer a range of financing programs with low monthly payments, competitive interest rates, and plans to fit your budget. And there'll be no impact to your credit by doing the checking the credit score. They do a soft credit pull, which means you can explore your options with zero pressure, no ding to your credit. The team at New York Sash has you covered with design details, payment plans, so you can get that project underway, whether it's windows or siding or a brand new bathroom. Visit their Idea and Design Center in Whitesboro or go online at newyorksash.com. And learn more about pre-approval at 315-624-7344.
WIBX. This is Keeler. WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM. Now back to the Keeler Show.
All right, it's been very enjoyable this morning to have both Manaski and Andrew in studio.
Might be the first time all morning, I agree. But
that is true. That may be true.
Can we do it again soon?
I think we should.
Maybe this week.
Maybe this week. Well, I think you've got other hosts lined up. I mean, like, how about once a quarter and we get a sponsor?
I like it.
Yeah.
Right, like a really big sponsor. Or we could all probably in one show, make the entire salary of the... This is Wayne. The strike zone is just that, the zone, but the stance of a player is what matters. Is that true?
Not really. I will tell you this.
Obviously, if I walk into the batter's box,
correct,
versus you, the strike zone's going to change.
Correct. I guess it does. I've had situations, and I don't mean to disregard what Wayne said. I don't necessarily consider the stance. As a matter of fact, there was one notable viral video where a Little League player got down. It looked like he was squatting. He got so low, and the pitch was at his neck.
Some major league players do that too.
Right, that's their stance. But I don't think, again, in fairness, the pitcher should have some consistency in the zone he's trying to achieve strikes in. Right, so I understand that belly button to knees for Aaron Judge is much different than it is for Jose Altuve. Yeah. But at the same time, there has to be some consistency in that zone. And I also think, umpires, especially at the professional level, because they have this technology, are graded. So they'll say, occasionally you'll see a guy had a perfect night. He called every ball and every strike correctly. But, I mean, the pitch, there was a challenge I saw in a minor league game, and the pitch was 1/10 of an inch off the plate. I mean, it just...
That's a strike, I think.
I think so, too.
If it brushes the zone on the technology, it's a strike.
Well, but again, it missed it by 1/10 of an inch.
That strike zone...
missed it by 1/10 of an inch.
That's what made...
I see what you're saying, yeah.
Jacob deGrom.
Yes.
That's
painting.
What made him.
That's called painting.
Yeah. And without
that should be a strike, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree. However, there were some pitches over the weekend, the Mets and Yankees, that were not there. All right, what do you have? You want to add something? I do have...
no, Jeff, the audio Jeff sent us both. If you have
I want to play that audio. This is... So, Rob this morning said Biden has already announced that he had cancer. What kind was it? Do we know?
he doesn't say in there. He just references that I and others have cancer, or however he says it. But he doesn't say specifically what kind.
Okay.
He's telling a story about where he grew up at a press conference.
Here's audio.
4-lane highway that was accessible. My mother drove us, and rather than us be able to walk. And guess what? The first frost, you know what was happening? You had to put on your windshield wipers to get literally the oil slick off the window. That's why I and so damn many other people I grew up have cancer. And why for the longest time, Delaware had the highest cancer rate in the nation.
Okay.
And that was, 2 years ago?
That was 2 years ago. Again, you can even hear in his voice there. I question how much he knew was going on. But in response to that, and I think Rob pointed this out as well, the White House came out immediately and said, "Oh no, he misspoke.
Was a gaffe. Yeah,
he didn't mean to say that."
I
think some things are personal, but there was a lot going on there that was covered up. A lot, and it's obvious in hindsight.
Here's Rob
and
said.
We knew it at the time.
Rob,
let's be honest.
Rob's saying, "Bill, come on, give me a break. They covered it up." Of course they did. I'm not saying they didn't cover it up.
Yeah.
But there are two things that are two different contrasting issues here.
Yeah.
Number one, there's the campaign. He never should have run. But the other part is we will always project as a country our president to be strong and healthy.
Yep.
And if there is something that could very well be the problem with this is if there's something that could make people have less confidence in the president, then we would probably hide that.
Yeah.
However, just watching him made you less confident.
Absolutely.
Right? I mean, it was so bad in the it wasn't good in the beginning, but the last 2 years of his administration, the decline was significant.
And Karine Jean-Pierre saying, he one time did shake hands with an invisible man, a person. And she said it was a deep fake and said it was all fake and it's exposed. And that video was not edited. There was, I don't know. There's a lot. I can understand, he's still a human being and he has a family. All of his health records shouldn't be made public, but there was a clear mental deterioration.
Well, there's no doubt.
There's no doubt.
There isn't a doubt.
Now people are writing books about it.
Yeah, but there was no doubt. I'm just saying everybody's all up in arms saying they kept it from us. Of course they did.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, they kept it from us to try to get him reelected. That is problematic.
Yes.
Keeping it from us to try to maintain some semblance of
strength
for the
Yes,
nation
I completely
is
agree.
what every administration has ever done.
Yep.
And not just in the U.S., but any country. So it's tricky. But man, I don't understand how he didn't know he had this cancer. Daylight Donuts, the official coffee of the Keeler in the Morning radio program. Check them out. The drive-thru is lightning fast. The coffee is delicious. Thank you to Jeff and to Andrew. We are back tomorrow.
From the Stanley Theater Studios, WIBX Utica, Rome, W295EI, WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM, a Town Square media station.
From the White House to the House, I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. 1 minute ago, President Trump arrived at the Capitol, where one Republican tells Fox it's tense here as the president tries to unite his party around what he calls one big, beautiful budget bill. If it doesn't pass,
people will get a 68% tax increase, the largest in history. And if we do get it, we're going to have the largest tax decrease in history.
Fox's Ryan Schmelz reports from the Capitol.
GOP members from states like New York, California, and New Jersey want to see an increase to the state and local tax deduction as part of President Trump's One Big Beautiful Bill, and the current proposal to raise the SALT cap from $10,000 to $30,000 isn't good enough. SALT critics say further increases to the cap will need to be paid for.
Republican spending cuts already in the bill to offset extending the 2017 Trump tax cuts